Hallo Leute, willkommen zu The Capsule, heute auf Deutsch mit meinem Mann Luke und mit meinem Bruder Adil.
Ich habe einen Bruder.
Just one?
I have a sister.
Really?
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
Schwester. It's like sweater, but not really.
Do you know that this guy can
Speak German.
speak
Don't let the
like
Okay,
people
so
know.
you guys have to do a capsule intro in German together.
Okay.
Oh, my
let's
German's
do
not that good, you know.
Come on, bro.
it. Come on,
Oh,
bro.
damn.
Come
I'll start
on,
and
bro.
you can.
All right,
go on.
all right,
Okay.
all right.
Hallo Leute, herzlich willkommen zu The Capsule, heute auf Deutsch.
Hallo, wie geht's? Ich bin Luke. Das ist KhanFu. Das hier ist eine türkische Person.
Did he
was
say
good, bro.
anything?
That's
It was good?
Yeah, it was really
Oh,
good.
okay. Then that's good.
Really good, man.
So for the portion of this audience that aren't German, which is probably most of my audience, what's up, everybody? This is The Capsule. We are back again. I have two guests who have actually both been on The Capsule before. However, one of the interviews came out. The other one didn't.
But why?
But why? We'll
It's a
keep that
secret
between. It's a
forever,
secret.
yeah,
It's
it's a
secret.
secret, yeah.
It's possible that Luke had some drinks. It could be many reasons. Not to say that it was because of me drinking. Whatever.
Must have been a good show, though, right?
We'll never
Yeah,
know,
it
really.
was good.
I don't even know if we said anything funny at all. I'm sure we didn't.
Like, I can say like if I want to quit DJing,
Yeah,
We can
put
put this
that one
podcast-
out. Ah, yes,
I
cool.
can say that.
Yes, so this is a almost like a kind of kamikaze podcast, you could
exactly.
say. Interesting. So, so if you didn't know already, DJ Fayme, you know the name. There's a guy
What's
in the
up?
pink t-shirt here, looking real sexy.
Oh, yes, sir.
Adil KhanFu.
Hello.
KhanFu is one word.
KhanFu is one word.
Don't make it two words or he will get
Please.
very angry.
Oh, my God. The amount of years I've been saying that to people.
People really like KhanFu.
They put a space sometimes. There's a hyphen in
okay.
between. It just, it grinds my gears, man.
Just disrespectful, to be honest.
So much disrespect.
Borderline racist.
I would agree.
It could be, you never know. So we are here in Gloucester for MSB, where these two are DJing. I will be doing some filming and some other bits. This may not come out immediately. So if you're wondering why MSB was ages ago, that's
Bro, sorry to
yes. No, tell me.
Sorry to interrupt you, but some people told me that Gloucester is like the middle of nowhere.
Gloucester is not. I'll put it this way: Gloucester is not the middle of somewhere.
Okay.
I'm not saying it's the middle of nowhere, but it's definitely not the middle of somewhere.
People like from London, what you doing there? You know,
Yeah. Well, it is a bit. It's like a bit out of the way.
Okay.
But
I get it.
this is probably why Tyler wants to do it here is to bring the scene out here.
Shout out to Tyler. I'm here like for the third time and
True.
always a pleasure. And yeah, man, he's doing a really great job, man.
And is there anything that you forgot coming here 3 times in a row?
No, man.
Oh, no, you
ask him. I brought everything with me. man.
Fame is the most professional DJ I have ever worked with.
Yeah. And he always brings everything.
So there was a story about my UK plugs. You know, those.
Tell it. Tell
I
it.
say in German it's adapter. It's
Yeah,
the same word in
adapter,
English.
yeah.
Adapter. And I got like tons of them at home, but
Sure you do.
every time I come to the UK, I forget it, and these people are making fun of it. So yeah.
Should we do like a crowdfunder, like a
Fame plugs,
GoFundMe
yeah?
for Fame to afford travel adapters?
I mean, this guy is lucky. Like last night when I was getting ready to go to bed, I packed my bags. I had an early train to get up as well, and he hits me up around, I don't know, midnight or just after midnight. He's like, "Hey, bro, yo, I need help, bro." I'm like, "What's going on?" He's like, "Yeah, I forget my adapter, bro." I'm like, "Huh, you unprofessional guy, bro."
Literally just the plug adapter, just that.
yeah.
Amazing.
You guys gotta get some proper
Some
plugs, man. Come on, with the two.
No, we're not part of the EU anymore. We don't need to
Yeah,
follow your
okay.
stupid rules.
Brexit.
Leave. No, I didn't.
Oh,
Or did I? You'll never know.
Is that the motto for today? Yeah, you'll never know.
You will never know.
Yeah.
I hope there's no cuts in this podcast, but it's very possible that we're going to have to cut some stuff. Or maybe not. Maybe we'll be good all the way through.
We're professional. At least I am.
We are professional.
Yeah.
So do we have any, I mean, I feel like we've been talking about stuff all afternoon. Is there any like topics that we want to start with? What about music for, so you are primarily a breaking DJ, would you say?
Yes.
You also spin other styles.
I do. Normally at events that have multiple styles, and
Yes.
they ask me to cover. Like tomorrow, I'm also playing for the hip hop battles along with the break-in. I've played for popping battles, crump battles, house, all styles.
Is there
as well.
anything that you're like, I wouldn't play for that because you don't like it or you couldn't do it? Or
It's not that I don't like it. If I refuse to play for a style, it's because I'm not, part of the scene enough to
Yes.
understand it enough as well. Like crumping, for example, all my crump music is from like 10 years ago.
Yeah.
Right.
You know what I mean?
Same here. Same with house.
Same with my popping music as well. Like if I play for a popping battle, it's rare. But if I do, I'm not looking for popping beats these days. Hip hop is it's a different thing because I'm also a club and bar DJ too. So
you're playing more of that stuff.
I'm
anyway.
playing current hip hop, R&B, Afro beats, house, everything. Garage, UK music, drill,
Fair.
whatever. But certain styles I just don't keep up to date with, so I don't feel comfortable playing for them. But breaking
Fair.
is my most comfortable discipline.
Okay, and Fayme, you would say what? Mainly popping or no?
Yeah, popping and hip hop. I would say like those two categories are my main. Of course, I started with popping like many years ago.
Where were you? Actually, this is a question I have for you. When I came to Wake Up,
Yes.
was in.
What was that, man? It was 2013
I'm gonna check. But I,
or 12, something like that, man.
maybe 13.
Yeah, like
It was like 10 years ago.
10 years.
Yeah.
Let's say 10 years. Yeah.
We'll fact check this another time.
Yeah.
But it's probably not. It was like 3 years ago.
Fake
No.
news.
So when I came to Germany, that's when I met you the first. I didn't know you at all. I just I did the pop in and hip hop. We won't mention how well I did in the hip hop or didn't do. Oh, what's
You
that?
did well, actually, man.
Yeah. Oh, what?
You with your two friends.
Yeah,
You came
I
with your-
won hip hop. Is that what you're
Yeah.
saying? You're saying I won it? Oh, now that you
don't
bring it up. Now that you bring it up, I guess I did win hip hop.
It was really good, man.
No,
Especially your partner, that one, that popping guy. I don't
won
remember
the
his name, but he didn't win, but he did really well. That guy,
Dom?
you brought, yeah, he was really young back then.
yeah. Don't
Looking like proper British guy. So,
Yeah.
yeah.
True. Anyway, no. So what I was going to say is, in that time, that was like 2013-ish. Where were you at your journey then? Were you like a new DJ, or were you like, had you been doing it ages? Because I know you now, but I didn't really know you then. I
Yeah.
guess.
So I started at 2006, around 2006. Like many of us started in clubs, at birthday parties,
Yeah.
So and then, but I was always around dancers. So one time there was an event and they invited me to play there. I played like that proper pop-in music, like that Planet Rock and pop-in music and Supersonic, And I was surprised because people immediately started to dance. And you know how it is in the club. You need to bring first the ladies to the dance floor and everything.
It's all
And
about keeping the girls.
It's like you play and then people start to dance. And I was so impressed by that. So my journey in the battle scene started 2008 because back then we weren't that much popping DJs. So
Okay.
we were like a couple, it's like Renegade, me, DJ Asphalt.
I remember
back
Asphalt from
then.
Eurobattle.
Yeah,
We used to
Asphalt.
buy his CDs after
Yeah,
Eurobattle.
exactly. Like we were like a couple of, there was Batsu in Japan.
Yeah.
And so that's why my first gigs was actually abroad, I went to Norway and Spain. And everything.
Before in Germany.
Yeah, before. Yeah.
Wow.
Because we got not that many events in Germany back then. So yeah, my journey started then, 2008. And yeah, it was 13, 12, Wake Up when we met. And but I would say I was in the beginning of my career.
Bigger career, yeah.
Wait,
exactly.
so were you dancing before you started DJing, or were you?
No, bro. I was like.
So did you ever dance?
No, like people are really surprised when I say this. Like, how can you play that good music when you're not dancing? But
That is rare, to be honest. Like to have
That's rare
DJs that
and-
haven't danced before to be
Yeah.
of high caliber within the battle scene. That's
exactly,
very rare.
I understand when people are saying this, but like I said, I was always around dancers, and I kind of have that. In Germany, we say like bird perspective.
Yeah, bird's eye view.
Yeah, it's the same. Because I was looking like from another perspective, and so
That's sometimes
maybe
what
that's
you
my
need.
advantage. I don't know, but for many years now, I still enjoy it, and yeah. So.
I think it's also like sometimes, to correct me if you guys disagree, but like I think sometimes we get a little bit suspicious of people that don't dance who are like doing stuff in the dance scene because you're like, why do you care so much about you know what I mean? Like
Exactly.
Yeah, you question their validity. You
Yeah.
know? That's what it is.
And I think if somebody dance, even if they're not as good, if they dance, it's like, oh, but I understand why you're here trying to do this in the scene. But then it's like, it's true what you said. It's like, it really, people that I even, to be honest, this might be controversial, but I even think this with like teaching dance or like there's a, all the shit about people saying like about Renegade and like him judging or teaching and stuff. But I think there's a lot to be said for, not that I want to have that conversation now, but there's a lot to be said about someone who doesn't do the thing, let's say like you're DJing, but you don't do the
dance
the
part.
dance.
Yeah.
So you can look and you can see things that we're too close to see. You know, we're like, oh, but we only dance to this type of music, and maybe you can go, but have you ever thought about dancing to this type of music? And we're like, oh, well, that's just not the way things are done.
Yeah.
And you're like, well, why not? You know, and it takes those people to like shake things up a little bit. Even like working with like photographers or videographers, like I get more work outside of the dancing, or let's say working with dancers, I get more work because I know dance, right? And I'm like a dance specialist or whatever. But actually I mean, I shouldn't say this because it's going to fuck up my work, but like
Bro, come on.
sometimes when I dance and I'm working with a photographer or a videographer who isn't a dancer, they have some really interesting ideas because they're not used to, they're like, I think dance videographers and photographers sometimes can be like, oh, this is how dance is supposed to be shot or supposed to look, and they're not brave enough to go, oh, we're going to do something completely different. And I think maybe that's something that's nice about you is like, like you said, a different perspective and just being
another perspective. Yeah, because like I know a lot of dancers who started DJing and disappeared, you know, because they thought like it's an easy job. Bro, you know it, but it's not, you know. There's a big culture behind it, and so yeah, and
that's kind of also the thing is like, if you're here because you're a DJ, you're not just a dancer who decided to, or like, you know what I mean? It's like you care about the craft of DJing, not only the craft of dancing.
Yeah,
you know?
Earlier today we gave a workshop together with 10 kids. It was like amazing. It was beautiful to show them the craft, you know, of music production, of DJing. I think like that's a kind of a mission, you know. So.
I have one question that maybe you can, it's not really a question actually, it's just more of a statement that you might have an opinion on. I feel like in breaking, the art of like, maybe we spoke about this when we did the pod, like mixing between the tracks is more of a thing. Like you keep the flow of the music going through the whole course of the battle, right? Whereas I feel like in Top Stars, one thing that I get annoyed about as a dancer, and it's kind of like we accept it because it's just how things are, but it's still annoying, is that like every song has like a fucking intro and a build up, and then it's like, okay, like you go, and then it's like my round is next, but then I have to wait for the build up, so it kind of kills the momentum of the battle. But it's like, is there, because you were talking about teaching DJing or something, is there stuff that like, I mean, I guess the question is like, do you see that working in Top Stars of like keeping that flow and mixing things through and just letting people go in and out?
Absolutely. No, it's the same, particularly in house as well, you know?
Right, yeah.
Because when you have big breakdowns in house, you know, 16, 32 bars long, and in Top Stars battles, commonly you have time limits in the rounds too. You don't get that in breaking as much. You might have a time limit, but that's irrelevant because it's such a short and explosive dance anyway. Very few dancers or breakers specifically actually do super, super long rounds. It's not as common. But in breaking, traditionally, you go from break to break to break. There's no like you're breaking, then the intro without drums. It's drums, 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 you know? If you have breakdowns or gaps, it's usually no longer than 4 bars. And 4 bars is 4 counts of 4. So 16 counts, you know what I mean? 4 dances. Because in dance, we count in 8. In music, we count in 4. And I take that same approach into Top Styles as well. So in hip hop, it's very easy to change tempos. So you might play a 2-round battle, play a slowish song, and then go to a really fast song. And that's acceptable. And sometimes that's fun. And, you know, it's cool to do that as well. In breaking, you can do that too, but it's less common because of just how the dance is built, you know? And if the dancers already start dancing, I'm not going to change it around and then change the BPM or the tempo all of a sudden either. Whereas in all styles, you can do that because it's all styles of music. In hip hop, it gives you leeway, you know, because the dancers also tend to pace themselves a bit more. So they're waiting for the music. In house, I take the breaking approach where I'll try to play the same part for both the dancers in their one round, not let the song play out. Because you have 45 seconds, 1 minute rounds. Exactly, yeah. I'm not going to give you the drums on one dancer and then the other dancer gets no drums.
Yeah, I always found that, like, you know, especially with house where it's like you have these elongated periods of nothingness. You know, it's like the beat break, and then it's just like
vibes, bro, vibes, you know.
Yeah. It's just kind of a bit like, I feel so bad for that person that has to really like fill that space. It's like, you know, and then they get like 10 seconds left and then the beat drops and they're like, like going for it.
It's the same in breaking, man. Like if you have a breaking song, because like, you know, like really old school breaking DJing would have been just break, you know? And eventually the dancers evolved to the point where you can play full songs for breaking too. But if you get the break in the song,
the bridge,
you know what I mean? Like then that's already like sort of a win or an advantage to you as a breaker. Unless you just super musical and you kill it regardless. But you know, just generically speaking, you might get the funky, more chill, groovy part, and then the next dancer in the same round gets like the hard drums and the percussion break.
It's kind of unfair, you know.
Exactly, you know, and in a competition setting, it's about fairness for me.
Exactly.
Ciphers, do whatever the hell you want. It doesn't matter. It's a cipher. It's a jam. But in a competition setting, it's about being fair. Judges have to be fair. So does a DJ, you know.
So when you're looking for songs for both of you, like for breaking or popping or whatever, it's like, are you kind of looking? Because I do this when I'm training. Is like, if I'm putting together a playlist for training or whatever, I'll listen to songs as I go through on Spotify or SoundCloud or whatever. And then if there's like a song where the beginning is fire, but after like 25, 30 seconds, it drops out and I'm not going to put this because it's going to fuck up the flow of the cypher, in our sessions. So do you guys think about that? Like, okay, if there's this good bit, but then it drops off, maybe I'm just going to loop this and use that as the battle track, or how would you?
Yeah, why not? I mean, I think it's an important thing also for younger DJs. Like what he said, if one is getting the bridge like without drums and the second guy is getting like the whole energy of the song, it's not fair. So it's the same thing with songs which might be like cool in the beginning and then like the energy is going low. So why not? Looping is an option to do it.
Well, what you just described there, bro, is exactly what breaks are.
Fair.
You know what I mean? So the break part isn't the main part of the song. It's anywhere from 5 to 30 seconds. If you're lucky, it's a longer break. But that's the break in the song, the drum break. The rest of the song is either good or it's meh. You know what I mean?
Exactly.
So in break DJing, it's about taking that
really
good part and extending it by looping it live on the turntables.
Well,
you know?
You know what? The only thing I don't like about, not the only thing, I mean, there's a million things, but one of the things I don't like about some of the, especially the hip hop like songs or remixes that people do. I like remixes and I'm like, oh, go for it if you're going to do these. There's some fucking fire ones, but some of them are like, they take a song that was already a sick battle beat and instead of just like looping that bit, it's like they fuck with it too much. Like there's a, like, no offense if the person ends up listening, but there's a Mobb Deep Burn remix, and it's got the ding. Do you know the one I mean?
Yeah.
That song annoys me so much.
It's played a lot of in breaking, right?
Yeah, even I play that song sometimes as well. But like that's more like a prelim or a cypher song. But
it's partially because it's been overplayed that it annoys me, but also because I was like, that track is already a battle track. It's like, why are you remixing the battle track? Like just to add some bits in it. Whereas I feel like I mean, maybe this was the case more when I first started, that it happened a little bit more in hip hop, but it's like where, like, I wish it was more of the breaking approach where it's like, all right, there's already a good bit in this song. Yes, sure, speed it up or whatever. But it's like, you don't need to add so much crap over the top when the song is already good, you know?
Well, it's the same with movies. Like, why would you want to remake a classic that's already good on its own?
But people do it anyway.
It's the same with music as well, you know? Like, so some songs are just timeless. You don't need to mess with them. If you're going to make a remix, make it really different. Make it your own.
What's the song,
you know?
the Das FX one? When the real hip hop, that you know the remix. I mean,
called real hip hop. I think I know which remix you mean.
There are tons of
the one that gets played loads in battles. I'll try and find it
with that. Yeah, I know what you mean.
You know the one
with the melody at the beginning. And,
I think I know the thing. But anyway, we can keep talking
with
about
the belts at the beginning. I know what you mean. Yeah.
Have you ever remixed any classic songs and played them in battles, Fayme?
Actually, that one.
Yeah, this one's quite popular actually.
But that's a cool one.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. I really like
it. At the end of the day, it's a matter of taste, you know.
Because this one is like you said, make it different. It's like a whole new song. It's not just like the same thing with a few bells on it.
But you were talking about that Mobb Deep remix. I mean, like
it?
I'm not liking it that much, but I saw like battles where people went nuts, you know.
Yeah.
Like, so it's still a matter of taste at the end of the day, you know. So, but I get your point. But there are still people who are gonna like it, you know.
Oh, so 100%. But you know, also as a dancer, sorry, I'm eating while I'm.
It's all good, man.
Professional.
But this is one of those real pods. Like some of the pods are very like, hello, I'm Luke and I'm here to interview again. This is like actual friendship.
I'm
chats.
drinking his water.
We were having the same conversations outside earlier. But you know also why it annoys me like that type of song is because for me as a dancer, I'm like, okay, musicality is something that you develop an ear for and you understand how to break down the layers of the track and to like keep the flow of the movement with the flow of the song. And then as you're dancing, like pick out the beats without like changing what you're doing for that, right? And a song like that, the reason why I don't like it is because it's kind of what I would say is like cheap musicality where
know
it's
what
like
you mean. Yeah,
you're
yeah.
just dancing and you don't have to hit any beats, but then there's everything stops to go.
There was one ding ding.
and if you
Yeah, I get your point.
Go down on your foot,
And
like
people go crazy.
you go
Like,
crazy,
yeah.
and it's like
Same in breaking.
Yeah.
You know,
I get your point, man.
right, yeah.
I know
You
what
just
you mean.
memorize
Yeah.
like that part, and you're fine. Whereas I prefer like let's say the original Mobb Deep track is like okay, if you're listening to the layers,
Yeah.
even the rhythms of the lyrics. That's why I like songs with
Yeah,
lyrics when I'm
yeah,
dancing. It's
yeah.
like it's a lot more skill for the musicality, not just remember when there's a certain part to
Absolutely.
hit. You know what I mean?
That's
my main.
musicality. Yeah, I know. I get you. Absolutely.
I know you're right.
Absolutely.
and if you're talking from like a real musical perspective, then I would agree with you, you know.
Right.
But if you look at where the dance is and how it's evolving and what the scene is like today, the newer generation, you know, a lot of them don't care for it or they might not understand it either. And that's fine. If you don't understand it, you will over time. The longer you do it, the more you mature. But yeah, some of those kids just want to get that beat kill, you know, and
That's true. Also,
you know what I mean. So
which I'm not mad at. Like, you know, when I was younger, I was doing the same thing. I was just doing it on different songs. But there's even like,
I remember when I played Puppet, you were looking for the effects.
yeah. But even like, what's
Yeah,
that?
but that's,
what's the
it's
track?
not the wrong thing, you know.
Freak Show.
Yeah,
But a bit in it where Salah did the
Yeah.
like that's a beat kill
Freak Show on
moment.
the
It was
dance
just
floor.
in the
Yeah,
song.
yeah, exactly.
But he did. I think it was at freestyle sessions. He did that. Like
Yes.
hit that, and it's like that was kind of the thing that we all saw. Like
That was a new thing back then.
Exactly.
You know?
And
Beat
now it's
killing.
just- it's in every song,
Yeah,
you know?
exactly.
but yeah,
do you know what I love is like when one dancer kills a particular song with a beat kill or whatever
Yeah.
else, and then whenever that DJ plays or any DJ plays that same song again, that bar has been set already.
you have to. Oh, bro.
And it's like, oh, he's played this song. Okay, I have to hit that somehow
Because
now,
everyone
you know?
knows it, bro.
Yeah.
I feel like when I was
I just love that pressure that people put themselves in.
but you know, like one of the hardest
pressure.
hip hop songs to dance to for me is "Break Your Neck," because everybody knows when the what is it? He says stop or is that like da-da-da-da, stop.
Sure.
Everybody knows when it's going to happen.
Everybody's
So the whole room
expecting.
goes stop, and even your opponents go stop. So either in my head, I'm like, I get overwhelmed because I'm like, right, either I hit exactly how they expect me to hit, which means it's not gonna like I do a move on the stop. Okay, cool, we saw it come in, or I don't do it and I move through it, and it looks like I'm the only one in the room that didn't know it. Or what do I do? Like play on the fact that I know it's there and just be like, all right,
well,
cool.
the last two things you said, like they're perception wise, they would be the same thing. You can move through it because you know it's there and you don't care to be, you know,
yeah.
the
But I feel
norm,
like the
right?
effect is like, I
Right.
didn't do anything.
Or you don't know the song, but to everyone else it's like, oh, you don't know that song.
Yeah,
regardless,
right.
you know what I
However
mean?
you see it, yeah. But it's really true. It's like there's that pressure of like, there's so many songs like that. But yeah, it's like, all right, everyone knows this one bit of musicality. What are we gonna do, bro? There's one. You're probably gonna know this song. It's like a Fabulous song, and it's got like a little dee 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 dee. Or is it Jay-Z? Holla back now, ooh ooh. What's that song?
Oh, that's ringing a bell, but
Man, it's gonna irritate me. It's either Jay-Z or Fabulous or. Anyway, I'll try and find it.
Yeah, I know.
pop it in the comments if you know the song.
Hey, you're smart. Anyway, there's a whole. It's like it was when I was first started. It was
I
like
think
really
it's
popular. Fabulous, yeah. Holla back now.
Yeah, I think it's Fabulous.
Anyway, there's one bit in it where the beat drops out and literally just goes.
Yeah.
I was battling at Throwdown, and everyone knew this song. I didn't know it at the time, and I didn't hit that. Like everyone was like, "Wait, dance for her," and it came, and I was just like moving. I swear to, I might be exaggerating this in my memory, but I swear to God, I heard like an audible like, like from the audience. Like I was like, I felt
No
like
way.
shit because it was like I'd
You
done
let
maybe
down,
like
bro.
3 battles in my life, and I just heard everyone like, like. Maybe it was just one person, and in my head it was like the biggest thing. But I just remember feeling like I've let this entire room down by not hitting
And a
that one
throwdown, it
bit.
feels like that back in the day as well,
Trust
bro.
me.
You know,
And it's like, especially being new in the scene those days, I'm like, oh, yeah. Fucking hell. But yeah, it is really a thing, man. But then it's like, what do you do if somebody has hit that? It's like,
don't worry about it, man. People are gonna move on anyway, you know. So
but also as your opponent, I'm gonna make fun of that if you miss something. You know what I mean?
it's a battle at the
Yeah.
end of the day, you
Yeah,
know.
yeah, yeah.
You're
It's
there
really
to
hard.
roast someone else. Someone actually put it to me really well. A battle is you either school someone or you get schooled.
True.
So you might have got schooled that day.
Oh yeah, I got schooled every time I went Throwdown. I won once before it finished, and that was like that.
That's all you need, bro. Just
That was like one of the
you know?
happiest fucking
That's
days
just that
of my
one.
life, bro. That was actually the first battle I ever won was Throwdown. So I was
That's
super
big.
happy
Really?
about that. Yeah, and do you know about Throwdown?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's like one of our like when I first came in the scene, everyone was like Throwdown's the shit, you know. So like to win that before before it stopped, I was super
Throwdown was one of my first battles, actually. I
Was
think.
it?
Yeah. Like the first ever battle I entered was only because the entry was cheaper.
Yeah, Throwdown used to be cheaper to enter than
No,
it was.
but this is literally like maybe 2-3 weeks before Throwdown.
Okay.
And then like Throwdown was the first like real breaking battle that I entered actually. And yeah, I got roasted. I forgot what I was doing, rolling around the floor.
been
It's a
there.
mess, you know.
Yeah.
Yeah. I'm a better
But
DJ
it
than I was a
cheaper,
dancer, you know.
Yeah, Throwdown was fun. But yeah, what we were talking about also with you, like we were talking about kind of playing newer music. We can maybe tell the story about the beer track.
Oh yeah,
That was interesting.
Yeah. It was last week actually at Battle of the Year, Central Europe in Germany.
As a qualifier?
It was like the Central Europe.
Oh,
the big
okay,
one,
okay.
you know, like and we had like a side category, the hip hop. So I played there, obviously.
Obviously.
Yeah. I don't play breaking, so
You will tomorrow.
that's your part, bro. Come on. So it was really cool. So it had not that like side event flavor, you know, that hip hop, because we were from the top 16, we were at the main stage, so everybody had to watch that hip hop battles, you know. So and at the final, I got this track like from Bia and Timbaland, you know. It's like 70 BPM, and it's like not, I would say like not normal for a hip hop battle, you know how it is, like 90,
Not comfortable.
yeah, it's the right word. Yeah, 90 to 100 BPM is like the normal range, and it was like it has this Timbaland sample, Missy Elliott, dun 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 dun, Bia Bia, you know, and I love her. Like we talked before, I love to play like mainstream music, you know, because I just listening to it, and I love to adapt it also into hip hop battles sometimes, and yeah. Bro, tell me, it's bouncy, bro. Come on, man.
Yeah,
Come on,
like
bro.
me personally, I would love
Yeah,
to dance to that in a battle.
And I had that feeling, like it was a similar feeling like back then when I started to play R&B at popping battles. You remember it, bro? I split the whole popping scene. Like 50% was like, stop playing that pussy music, sorry. And 50% was like, oh shit, R&B, man, yeah. Even the OGs, like they were like, yeah, I trained to R&B like all the time. They were giving me props and stuff. So, and I had the same feeling last week, because like half of the hip hop audience was like, oh, what he's playing, you know, it's 70 BPM, it's trappy, it's like mainstream, but like half of especially the young guns, they were like, yeah, you know. And then the funny thing is, I had a good feeling about this song. I played in the final, and I just posted it on Instagram, and I tagged, just for fun, I tagged Bia, you know, and she reposted it, bro. She posted it, and yeah, check it, bro. And I was like, oh shit. So yeah,
That's a risk you always take as a DJ,
bro,
you know?
that's what I want to say. Maybe that's another advice for younger DJs. Don't be scared to take the risk.
Especially when you're young. That's when you have the time to experiment, find your style,
Exactly,
yourself, your
man.
niche, your sound, you know?
What is like the worst case? What is the worst case? Okay, you will get some hate maybe online,
Yeah.
but okay. I mean,
People forget about it, man.
You mean
Yeah.
she shared it on her story?
yeah,
Story,
It's not there like anymore. It was like 2 days ago, but I can show you, bro. I'm not lying. Come on, man.
I bet you took screenshots, yeah?
She deleted it. She posted it.
Yeah.
and she's
No,
like,
but I was surprised, because I mean, she's a big deal, you know.
Yeah.
She was like
But it's also like promoting that her music is being played somewhere.
I think she liked that her song is played at hip hop dance battles. You know, she was like not expecting it. So yeah.
Sick.
So
All it takes is just that one right dancer.
exactly.
The amount of times I've heard a song and I think, I don't really, you know, fuck with the song. And then I see some amazing choreo to it. I'm like,
Exactly.
you know what? I actually like the song now.
Exactly. And at the final,
Same thing with some dancers in the battles, you know? You might not have played it before the right dancer, and then all it takes is that one dancer to
And
make
I
it
can
blow
also
up.
imagine it being difficult for like younger DJs, because the thing is, it's like, is it Yuxin that plays hip hop in Summer Dance?
I think so.
I think it's one of them, yeah.
I think so. He's one.
Whoever,
of them, yeah.
I think it's Yuxin, but whoever plays hip hop in Summer Dance, right? He's played some like, there's one battle between Kefton and YD, I want to say, from ages ago, to the Drake.
I've seen that one, yeah.
the-
older one, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
remember.
And it's like really, even the song is not so bouncy. It's really like disjointed a little bit, but they fucking killed it, right? And I think the difference is like, okay, if that's a brand new DJ and they're like, right, it's your first time trying Summer Dance, blah, blah, blah. He's going to play something a little bit different. or maybe even in your situation there, and the dancers are going to look at him like, what the fuck are you doing? Like, change it or get a new, but they're going to look up and they're going to see Fayme or Yuxin or whoever, and they're going to go, okay, if you play it, like, we trust you. And it's like, I think that's a good thing, is like, you get to
kind
that
of
position where it's
reputation
like,
and kind of standing.
But it's the way, I mean, I don't think I would ever, like, I mean, maybe a slightly other conversation, but I would never, like, tell a DJ to change a song.
Bro,
or
that's
play
the
it.
worst thing.
Bro.
I'm lucky it never happened to me, but I saw it.
Oh, really?
And bro, no, really. But
I mean, I'd never change a song anyway.
bro, but I mean, I saw it online and I really felt sorry
No,
for
but
the
can we-
DJ, because I can imagine how he's feeling. You know, if a
There's
dancer
pressure.
doing this,
Yeah.
bro, this is like the worst thing you
No,
can
but
do.
do you know
man.
what's even worse than that? I'll be the one to say it. Is when judges do it.
Yeah,
This
sure.
when the dancers are
Yeah,
dancing
that's
and
even
the
worse.
judge
That's
goes,
even worse.
no,
Yeah,
change the song. This is not real.
That's even worse, bro. That's even worse.
This
yeah.
this pisses me off, to
exactly.
be honest, and I don't care if it's like an OG
Yeah,
or
yeah,
a
yeah,
younger
man.
judge or
That's just
whoever.
disrespectful,
Because,
man.
yeah, it's
You
like-
can't do it, man. You
and,
cannot do it. This.
Not to go in a rant, but these same people
Yeah.
who will tell the DJs to change a song are the same people that will say the DJ is the life of the culture and blah blah. It's like, well, then
Exactly.
fucking let him
The
play.
hypocrisy there, you know what I mean? Like, we're dancing to music.
Yeah. Did it happen
Does-
to you, bro?
Many
That
times, bro.
one?
Many
Well, that
times.
someone
But
asked you
it's,
to change
like
it.
more common in breaking, right? Like I saw it.
I
Like
don't know about,
sometimes in
because
the
you know,
break.
breakers. It's a very competitive dance, and with competitiveness, it also breeds arrogance, you know,
Right.
and cockiness as well.
And another attitude, like you have it in the stand up.
That comes with
Dancing,
that comes, you know, with it. Not saying that every dancer is like this, but
Yeah,
it's not uncommon to see this kind of attitude. I've had it plenty of times where dancers will have looked around or turned around and be like,
But
"What's
you
this?"
didn't
you know?
change the song.
Never, bro. The only time to change the song
Good
is
choice,
someone
bro.
isn't
Good
going
choice.
out because two
Exactly.
breakers are being stubborn and like, oh no, you go first, or you chicken, or you go
Just
first.
in. Yeah.
And I'm like, you're wasting my song. You're wasting everyone's time.
Yeah,
Let me
let's
just give you a
change it.
dead beat right now and watch you battle to
That's
this, you know?
It's the same thing. Maybe I can ask a question,
Yeah.
like how you guys feel about this, because this is really annoying me. If you start to play, because the DJ is always thinking before he's playing. A good
Yeah.
DJ, he said, okay, now this is the intro.
He did it
and-
for a reason.
Yeah, for a reason. This is the intro, and I want him to go in there and stuff. You know, I just have a movie in my head
Yeah.
all the time, and then they just don't go in. They're like hustling,
Yeah.
you know? And the whole song, like the whole moment, is gone, and the host is doing like rewind. And I mean, this is like a thing we have to find a solution, man. Like at some events, I see like they're saying like blue corner starts or
Yeah.
something like that. I like this. You know, I don't know from a
Or flip a
dancer
coin.
perspective how you think.
No, the best
but-
rule is last to the floor goes first. You know, I love that rule.
Last to the floor goes
So when you
first,
call
yeah.
the names out, okay, whoever shows up
Oh,
last
okay.
goes
You know what
first.
I would do?
I never heard about
It's
it.
like
but
I
this
would
is a good one.
I would have like two sides, like you said, red or blue side, like they
Yeah.
do in Red Bull.
What do you
whatever.
think about this? I mean, you
I like it, but I would have a coin with red on one side, blue on the other. Okay, whichever side you want to
Yeah.
stand up to, you flip the coin. Whoever it lands on, you go
Yeah,
first.
and I don't
Done.
like that bottle thing, and you know,
But yeah,
But
the
look-
thing is, the bottle thing. It's like
I don't know, man.
it's the same.
No,
yeah, but
what
then
else-
do it at the beginning.
Let
you
me
know?
just play
Not
devil's
like
advocate.
wait until the
Yes,
moment
yes.
is gone. You know.
Let me just play devil's advocate,
Go on.
because some battles, them not going out just adds to the energy a little bit more. Like there's
Sure.
some battles where it's like, oh, it's these two high level breakers or dancers.
But not for too long.
But the song,
No, not for
but
too long,
the-
I agree.
The moment is from the song.
No, and that as a DJ, I understand that, but
Yeah.
sometimes I
Okay.
also understand like, okay, they're not going out, but oh, the excitement is building up. The excitement's
yeah.
building up. Okay, here they go. Until
Yes.
there's a point where it does
Okay.
dip down
But you know
again.
what?
You know,
I think the problem is sometimes is like, especially in top stars, and I have this every time I've taught a fucking workshop, I end up bitching about this. But it's like young, like it's been since
Haters.
for real. It's been since like
Yeah,
even since I started, right? But like younger dancers watch b-boys on YouTube and they see all the shit that they do. They don't understand the context of why they're doing the thing or how that's supposed to be doing something. They copy it and then they just do it for no reason. So it's like, okay, let's say in popping, they're going to be like, let's say a lot of younger or whatever, they're going to be like, oh, I'm going to make the other person go first. I'm going to make the other person go first. You're not going to respond to
But
their
bro,
round. So
yeah,
why do
yeah.
they need to go
Well,
first?
is it really an advantage to go second?
Well, not if you're not going to respond. Like in breaking
mean,
it, the
yeah.
idea is like, okay, if this person did this type of thing or this, I'm going to see what they did. And now I have the advantage that I can counteract what they're doing or do something that highlights my strengths over their weaknesses. In top stars, a lot of times, I'm not saying everyone, because there's some really smart battlers, but a lot of times people just do their round. So they go second, but they still do the same round they would have done if they went first. So I'm like, well, if that was the
Okay,
round
they
you were
got,
going to
like,
do,
something prepared in there.
or not even prepared, but just like they're just in their zone performing. So
Yeah.
it's like, I'm not like, if I'm battling you in popping, I'm thinking, what do you do well and how can I counteract that? I might not wait for us to go. I don't care if I go first or second, but I'm like, if I know you're this type of dancer, all right, you never go on the floor. I'm going to try some floor work or whatever, just to try. So if you're not doing that, then why do you need to go first or second? It doesn't matter. Like you're just in your zone.
Yeah. So that's why I don't get it, man.
I think that's and this is the whole thing with people like battle tactics, like shouting at each other and all that. It's like you don't even know why you're shouting at the person. You're just doing it because you saw a b-boy on YouTube do it. But I think also, so with what you said, I think what people are missing, and this is always the thing, right? It's like, okay, when you, I'm going a long route to say my point, but it's a podcast, so get used to it.
We have the time. You know?
So let's say with battling and battle tactics, right? I always say this when I teach that it's like, you're going to battle someone and what you think battle tactics are is shouting and screaming in someone's face and then calling them a biter and saying they did something twice because that's what you saw a b-boy do, right? But actually, sometimes if there's somebody that dances well when they're hyped up, like someone like Sonny, if I ever battle him in a all-stars battle, I'm not going to talk shit to him because he's going to go, oh, that's how you want to play this? Like, I'm going to fuck you up now. Just to be an arsehole and without even wasting moves that he needs. He's just going to go, let me just tuck you in a little bit extra just to shut you up, right? And that's what most good level dancers will do. If there's somebody that can do that, then actually be smiley and happy. And there's also some dancers that work better under pressure when they're being shouted at. It pulls more out of them. So those dancers, I'm going to give them a hug and be like, yo, you know you're my favorite dancer, bro. Like, I'm so honored to battle you. Because then what are they going to do? And that's, for me, that's battle tactics. It's like...
psychological warfare,
exactly.
bro.
And it's putting someone off their round to make them think about anything else but the round. So however you can do that. Like, Lee is an asshole for that when he used to battle Lee. I don't know if you know Lee. But you do. But he would he'd just be like, your shoe's untied or something, like, even if it's not untied, but just to distract you.
That.
And you're like looking down and then you're like, oh, fuck.
Like,
so these type of things is battle tactics. Is not the stereotypical shit. And I think, my whole point is, when people do this standoff thing, right? What you're saying is when it works. So like, let's say they wait, it builds the tension and then someone goes and everyone it's like a release of tension. But that only works if you go at the right time. So if the song builds up and it's like, going and there's no drop and then stand off. And then as the song drops, someone goes, fuck it, and just goes in.
That's
you
another
get the
thing.
crowd hyped.
That's another thing. Yeah.
But that's the part that they miss is that you have to do it in the right way. Otherwise they just stand there, the drop comes, everyone's bored, you kill the thing. And
it's a very thin line between that hype moment of waiting and then going in to then killing the moment.
Yeah, exactly.
And I completely understand your point as a DJ. Like, I've had it, last example I remember is Just Jam in February this year. It's an amazing song I played. It has a nice build up and intro as well. But like drum breaks can be, sometimes they're very monotonous after a few certain bars, but the groove is there, the vibe is there. But when you're not going out for so long and it's been 2.5, 3 minutes,
boring.
It's different with breaking music than it is to say hip hop or house, where the songs are still laid and they're building and they're carrying on. Yeah,
because you're also like making that transitions.
Yeah, exactly. And then for me,
moment you didn't do, I think, because you're waiting until they go in,
and then I have to do more work as well, because maybe I can let the song play for a while before I have to add more to it by scratching, juggling, or beat whatever else. You know what I mean? But now I have to start doing
dancing. You mean?
No. If they haven't danced, because say I can take a short loop that's good on its own, and I decide to play it for 2 rounds. The first round I can just leave it be and just do some basic looping. The second round, if I'm gonna keep that song going, I'm gonna have to spice it up a little bit more by the extra little chukas, the juggles and the snare cuts or whatever else, just to keep it fresh. Otherwise, it would feel not boring, but it would just keep the energy slowly declining, and you don't want to do that as a DJ.
Variation and stuff. Yeah.
Your job as a DJ isn't to play for yourself. You're there to play for the dancers. You're there to play for the event, the vibe, the atmosphere.
Exactly.
And that's not just battle DJs, but that's every kind of DJ. No one's coming to, unless like you're a headliner DJ in some festival. You can get away with anything you want to, because they're there to see you. But when you're playing for events, clubs, bars, whatever, you're there for everybody.
Exactly.
So you have to do your job as a DJ to play for the dancers. And that doesn't mean cater for the dancers and play only a specific style of music. No, be balanced, My personal rule is, if I make 80% of the room happy, I've done a good job.
Yeah.
But bro, I have to disagree a little bit. I think we had that conversation in our DMs before.
Get a drink.
Yeah, bro. Like for me, it's bro, maybe it's different to breaking, I don't know. But for me, it's I have to be comfortable at first when I play that song.
Of course. I never play a song I don't like.
Maybe it's a little bit egoistic. I don't know. It's the right word, egoistic?
What did you say? What was the first thing you said?
I said like
He has to be comfortable to play the song.
first,
Like in your slippers.
like I have to, I have to,
No, what did
I have
you
to
mean?
be
Say again.
comfortable to play that song.
Oh,
I
you have to like it.
like first.
Ah, okay,
me,
okay, yeah.
And then I see, okay, if it's for the crowd, if it's for the,
Yeah,
so
I hear
this
you.
is what and I'm doing this for 15 plus years now. So I don't know if it's like egoistic, but so that's why I get your point. We are there, we're getting paid to entertain
but
and
that's
then
what I
stuff.
mean. It's not playing for
me,
the
it's like I
dancers
cannot play
only.
like those jukebox thing. You know,
Yeah.
I cannot do that.
No, but you know,
If I don't like it, I cannot
But
play
every
that
song I play, I like the song myself.
Okay.
but you
Like,
know how
I never play
would
a song I don't like because that
Okay.
would be that's not you
because-
being yourself.
Then
You know.
I understand it wrong. I
Yeah.
thought like you were like
No. My
just
job is to play
satisfying
for
the dancers.
No, my job is to
Okay.
play for the dancers to bring the best out of them. But I can only do
Sure,
that
absolutely.
authentically
Absolutely.
if I like the songs I'm
but
playing
at
myself.
the same time, exactly.
You know what I
have
mean?
to
But
be
it's-
authentic as a DJ.
I think
so that's-
the middle between. I understand what both of you are saying, but it's like I think it's like you might like a song, but you might really love it, but you also might be like, this isn't good for a hip hop battle.
it happens.
So that's the
it happens. But then
you
don't
wouldn't play it.
Yeah, exactly.
So then I think this is the
Exactly.
difference. It's like
Yeah, exactly.
I think I agree with you. Like your job is to bring. Also, what I'll put my opinion at the end. I think you're saying that you want to love the songs, cool. And what
First.
you're saying is you need to think of the dancers when playing and the style of.
Yeah.
The style of DJing, I guess, is for the battles, right? It's not just anything I want to play that I like. So you're kind of both right, I think, in the sense of it's like
Yeah.
you have to both like the song, but then you also have to think, okay, what's the way to put it like what's the way to like, is this
There
going to
you go.
work in the battle? Is this going to
Yeah.
have the right intro? All the stuff you were
Absolutely.
saying
But
is for the
Absolutely.
it's
dancers.
not the wrong thing to have like different opinions, you know?
No,
You
no,
know,
no, of course.
it's all
Otherwise,
good.
it'd be a
It's all
boring
good.
scene. You know.
But you know, I
Yeah,
think
we will
also
fight later, you know?
one thing
Right.
one thing that I don't like in DJs, like maybe the only thing I don't like from especially top style DJs is playing songs that I've heard before or that are overplayed. I think they do it in especially newer DJs or younger DJs do it because they feel pressure to
Safe, like in a safe way. Yeah,
Everybody
yeah,
likes
yeah,
this
yeah,
song.
yeah,
I've
yeah.
seen it in 10 battles on YouTube and therefore it's going to go
Yeah,
off in
they're
this
gonna
battle.
go
And
safe
for
way
me,
to
I'm like,
safe
I'd
way,
rather
yeah.
you play stuff I don't like, but I've never heard it before, than to play stuff that I like, but I've had it.
But that's, and I would say that's your
Yeah.
personal opinion there, you know?
Sure.
Because when it comes to, again, being competitive in a battle, again, it's that comfort versus discomfort type of debate. Again, you're saying you'd rather be a bit uncomfortable to something you don't know and still dance your way rather than a dancer who would just dance to something they're familiar with so they can feel comfortable.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I mean?
it's also
that,
worth saying on your point is that I've never battled in something like WDSF or these things where it's like competition, and I'm trying to win. I've always only ever battled with the mind of like an artistic mind. I've been like, I'm going to hear and show my style and the way I dance. Even if I don't win, it's going to help me to get other opportunities or whatever. Not to say I haven't thought like a businessman, but I haven't thought like only a competitor. And I guess maybe there are more people that are like, right, if I'm at WDSF, I'm in the finals against fucking Lee from the Ruggeds. The dream come true would be a song that I know that he doesn't know, even if it's been overplayed. It's like, I want that song.
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Yeah, so then in that case, that's what I mean. I agree. Like in that case, I 100% get it. If you're trying to be a competitor, yes. And I think that's why my opinion is different because I've never been in that.
In that
scenario.
moment, you don't care. Like
You're like,
you
I know
the
this song.
Yeah,
That's the
exactly.
dream come true.
You mentioned WDSF like it's an event where the pressure to win is there, and I agree with that point as well. Like everyone is there to get the points and to win because of where it's leading to.
Yeah.
But you have those events in hip hop and popping, those super
course.
high caliber events where it's like, I've made it this far at this particular event.
But I think there's nowhere that's
know what I mean?
as close to sport as WDSF in the scene.
No, of course
You know
not.
what I mean? Because even
yeah.
in like Just Taboo finals,
Yeah,
it's
exactly.
still like you can still win, not in the sense of like getting the judges vote, but let's say like, you know, Summer Dance Forever. Like, do you remember that guy, Leto? L''ETO. He did that one
rings a
round
bell.
on the floor with
I
his
think-
feet, and
I
he did
think
like.
yes. I think yes. I
and
think yes.
he's from like Russia or something, but he like blew up. Anyway, it was
Just
like the
because of that round.
one
right?
round and it
that
was the
one. Yeah, I
quarterfinals.
remember.
And it's like,
Yeah, yeah, I
it's a
remember.
high level thing. And it's like, you can, I mean, we talk about this loads on the pod, but like, so if you like this, go and check out all the other episodes. But it's like, you can do well from a battle without even winning. Like you can get to the quarterfinals or the semis. And if people love your style, you're going to get booked for jobs. You're going to get booked to judge. You're going to,
Yeah,
like, you
sure.
can really build a name off just that. You know, if you think about someone like, even like Batala or there's loads of people like that. Yeah, sure. They win, but we don't know them as the competition winners. We know them for their style. So it's like, I think if you go into a lot of battles in our scene with that mentality, you can really do well overall. Whereas say something like WDSF is like, I don't think, and B-boys and B-girls, correct me if I'm wrong, but I don't think anyone's going, this is going to help my reputation. It's like, I want to get points. And if I don't get points, you know what I mean? Like, it's more about the sport aspect of it.
No, I can see what you're saying there as well. I mean, I wouldn't say it's more about the sport aspect. It's just that the setting and the environment has been treated like a sport to a degree.
Yeah,
you know,
right.
Everyone is still very individualistic.
Sure, it's not that
you
it
know what I
changes
mean?
the dance, but you're there for results.
And that's what I like about it so far. Is like it's not changed the way people dance per
Yeah.
se. I mean, you have some dancers that disagree with how maybe they were judged, for example.
Yeah.
And they feel like
Seems like quite a few. That's another podcast.
stay tuned, you know.
Yeah.
But like majority of the dancers haven't changed completely how they dance. For example,
Yeah.
they might repackage.
Of course, but I
that's-
think you have to for battles anyway.
Right, exactly, and that's still you. That's the same as you going to a local jam thinking, "Oh, this judge is judging, so I have to do a bit more of this." That's you repackaging. You're not gonna try something you've never done before, because that's not gonna work.
I mean,
right?
with like this is the thing where like people get like, oh, I want to be the real self or whatever. It's like, all right, we'll go dance in your fucking bedroom then, because it's like if I the way I talk to you guys is slightly different now that we're on the pod. It would be slightly different if we were in front of like people that wanted to invest in the podcast. It would be slightly different if I was in front of my mum. It's
That's
like,
all you though, right? That's
it's
still
all
different
me.
sides of
Like,
you.
We just slightly repackage ourselves for different contexts so that different people can understand us. It's normal. Like if you were talking earlier about DJing for kids battles and you're playing clean, that's not the stuff you don't listen to the clean versions.
Exactly,
Okay, little repackaging doesn't mean it's not still fame.
Exactly.
But I think, when people are like, oh, I want to be the real me, it's like, I think, to be honest, for me, it's like a bit of a cop-out of why you lost. It's like you don't have the skill of packaging. Disclaimer, I teach a whole workshop on structure and presentation. So this is really like my avenue of like things that I care about. But the reason the workshop came about is because I think it's so important of like learning to structure and present a dance round for whatever. Like it could be for a performance. If you're doing a 10-minute solo, you can't, and I've seen this happen, you can't go into a 10-minute solo with the same attitude as you go into a battle with. Oh, I'll just freestyle and see what happens. That that works in 1 minute. It does not work in 10 minutes.
Won't work.
So it's like, I think this is the thing, not that we need to go down that route, but like if people don't want to, like, let's say there's people going into WDSF not thinking that they need to repackage. It's like, you have to, man. It's like anywhere you go, and you're already doing it, whether you like it or not.
And that also depends like on who you're battling, you know? Like if I'm battling such and such dancer, okay, I might know their strengths and their weaknesses. Cool, let me play to their weakness because that might be a strength of mine. That in essence is repackaging in a way. You're not being dishonest to who you are as a dancer or what you're capable of. You're just bringing out a different side of you. You know what I mean? So it's being mature and smart enough to realize that. And also, the more you battle, the more you experience these things, the more you get hip to these things as well, right? But what would you say are the biggest events like hip hop and popping these days? Actually,
Go on.
The biggest,
like where it's like most visibility.
Got to be some.
Like Djidawi would have been like top caliber, for example,
Yeah,
but
yeah,
Djidawi doesn't happen anymore, right?
Yeah,
Well,
just
technically, it's back.
it's a
Again?
gold one.
Well,
Again?
It's been two cancelled ones in a row.
Right.
One for COVID, one for
exactly.
because it was in Dubai and then
Yeah.
it just got cancelled. Or I think it's Dubai. And then now they said that it's going to be in Frankfurt. You know about this? Yeah.
Yeah.
Are you
Yeah.
DJing, Fayme?
I don't know.
Oh.
Hey Bruce. No, well, I just saw it, but I was really, to be honest, I was like
Hamburg.
happy.
Yeah, or Frankfurt. Hamburg?
I think Hamburg.
Yeah.
Yeah. They announced it. And I'm happy, bro. I'm like, just the move for me is, I was there 2012 as like a really young DJ. It was, I think I told you before, it was way too early for me back then.
Yeah,
I don't know how, but somehow I was there on the big stage and it was too early.
Did you do a good job though?
I think so, bro.
Yeah.
I don't know the English word, but it was like I was young and I didn't care that much about things. I told you about that R&B stuff. I played R&B, I think at the semi-final for Nelson and Frankie against. It was a really
Was
good
it the one
battle.
against Bruce?
I think it was that one, and I played R&B, and in the comments
went
you
off,
can
no?
see, you can see in the comments like I told you before, like, oh, he's playing R&B, and oh, what is this? And like the 50-50,
Yeah.
And so that was a good one because I was like young and I didn't care a lot of back then. But then I was playing there 2018 again, and I felt more like I could enjoy it more, just because I was not that nervous and more experienced and stuff. So I like just the boom, man, really.
Yeah.
And
But this one's a bit different. It's like
it was only the winners, I think.
it's they just released the rules actually. We're going to talk about it properly after we've had a chance to
But
look
what
at
are the big events now in
Summer
popping
dance?
and summer dance?
Definitely.
But also shout out to Summer Week in Germany, bro.
Summer
Like,
Week?
yeah, it's from Majid. The event from the event from Majid, and he's really like last year I was there. He brought up like JG, you know,
Oh,
as a
sick.
judge, and I was like, what, you know, like really good level in popping. So don't underestimate that
Yeah.
one. It's really, really good
Summer
in Germany.
Week.
Summer
I'm
Week,
more
yeah.
thinking of like not the best events, but the ones with the biggest reputation, I guess.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of good events that not.
Summer Dance.
Loads
What
of
else?
Many good events, but when I asked
Yeah.
that question earlier, it was about
Yeah.
visibility as well. You know
Yeah,
what I mean?
visibility wise, I think. Or
I think
maybe
it's
like this,
like-
as
like-
dancers, like what do the dancers want to win? I think Summer
Yeah.
Dance.
I think it's
right
like
now is the
Summer
top.
Dance right now. Yeah, we can say Summer Dance and.
What else is there?
They were not so big.
Yeah,
events.
now that
like
I'm
back
thinking
then
about
we
it.
had like R16 and stuff. You
Yeah.
know? Like there's
what about
not
in Asia,
anymore,
you know,
bro.
like, there's some big events in Asia,
There was
you know?
like
Well,
KOD is not
KOD,
anymore.
yeah. Not
Like
anymore.
KOD is like
That was like
finished.
one of the like those
Yeah, like
things were like
KOD is just the boo,
if you won all of those in one
R60,
year,
yeah,
you were
exactly.
the don, you know.
Now you have like more like smaller.
That's
events,
true,
you
actually.
know?
Yeah, I just thought of that now that
Because
you've
you
asked
the
that.
question, like I have to think, you know, like what are
Okay,
the
wait,
biggest
let's actually
events,
try
like,
and think.
yeah.
What Battle Bad maybe is up there
Battle Bad, yeah.
now because
yeah.
which
That's in
used to be a
France, right?
smaller
Or-
jam. It's in
France,
Sarcelles.
France, yeah.
But it's there's also hip hop and popping, right?
Hip-hop, popping,
they're
and break.
both are really strong, yeah.
Yeah, so Battle Bad I think is on the up.
Battle Bad,
Um,
we got Summer Dance and Battle Bad. I would say like a.
What are the
Summer
ones I
Week
even try and
also
watch?
in
Like
Germany.
all the battles I watch on YouTube now are like smaller ones. You know what I mean? Like I don't
Yeah.
remember like huge ones like that.
Yeah, it's not that like back in the days
Interesting.
anymore. It's like more smaller, local. Like back to the Styles in Italy.
Yeah.
I was there, like, and it's really they got a good lineup, but
wanna
not
look-
like that visibility. What he's talking about,
Yeah.
more like local Italy, you know. So it's not like that anymore.
That's what I love
It's
about.
interesting.
That's
It's
what
interesting.
I love about, you know, I use the word local very loosely, but I just don't mean like an internationally renowned event, like more like an event that's renowned amongst a certain
That's
number
even
of
the thing.
international people,
Yeah,
you know,
it's
where
like-
because the level could be super dope at these smaller
Exactly,
events.
but it's not that visibility. What
Exactly,
you're talking
right?
about.
And
but it's
I love playing for these
it's
events,
not a bad
honestly.
thing.
I
It's-
mean, there's
it's not. There's
freestyle
different
session
avenues, you know?
popping. Freestyle session has a popping battles. I'm just looking at
but
like
it's-
Yeah,
it's
but
in
freestyle session
USA.
is it's
not like in Europe,
forever
yeah.
breaking associated.
yeah,
as well.
Yeah.
exactly.
damn, what's happening?
Like,
Like,
even
Groove
you
and
ca-
Move looked sick with the popping
Move, yeah, in France also, right?
yeah.
It's in the
what was the
in
one that was
Switzerland,
in
but in
Switzerland,
the
I
French
think.
part
Yeah.
of
yeah,
Switzerland.
was that Groove and Move that had like
Yeah.
the animation
In
battles
Lausanne,
and
I
the
think.
oh shout out Lausanne. So many hills in that fucking town.
yeah, it's beautiful, man. Come on.
Yeah, really beautiful.
Come on, come
But
on.
it's just a lot of hills. I went there one time and I was like,
Good for the calves, yeah.
but that one, I think it's Groove and Move. That MT Pop.
But it's interesting, man.
But that was a good like level.
Yeah.
I think that if they keep that level, because everyone that popped was at that fucking battle.
I love that event, man. Because like back then we had that Just the Boo tour and everybody was focused on that Just the Boo in top dance, you know?
Yeah.
Like because they were touring around like for 3-4 months.
I'm trying to look
So,
at other popping battles.
Since that is gone, it's like more like local, I would say.
Yeah.
You know?
Do you think like? I mean, I don't
I
know.
want more
It's
local
not a
battles,
bad thing,
man.
man.
I
You
want
want
more
more?
local battles.
Yeah,
you
man,
know?
it's not a bad thing. I like it. Man.
Yeah. I mean, I wonder if like the Just a Boo thing, like a lot of people were like didn't want to run battles because they're like, everyone's just gonna. Well, Culture of Hype and Hope, that's also up there.
Yeah.
Where's that?
In Netherlands.
Holland, yeah. But yeah, I wonder if like less people ran battles because Just a Boo was there, and now that it's gone, more
Yes.
people are putting on like smaller
Yeah,
battles.
it's a big hole for sure, man.
Yeah, that's so weird.
Because like for many
You really
years
blow my
everybody was
mind.
training and like focusing on Just the Boo, man. Like
Yeah.
every dance, because you know how it is. Like if you win it, like 1 year they told me, 1 year you're booked like every
I don't
weekend.
know. Yeah,
Like that is what they told me, the dancers. Like for 1 year you're like on the top.
well, probably for like at least judging and stuff like that.
Exactly, that's what I mean. Like
Yeah.
There's certain events in breaking like that as well. You know, like you play that and you do a good job.
Well,
it's not
BC
like
won it.
it's not like that you play. I mean, Red Bulls are different actually. I would agree. I would
Okay.
disagree with that one. For visibility, yes.
Yeah, that's what I was talking about. What were you talking about?
You know, for visibility, but I just mean in general, like you,
Oh.
like you winning a battle as a dancer, you're dancing like, as yourself. And same with a DJ. If you play a super high visible event and you play as yourself and you do a good job,
Yeah.
you're good for the next year as well. For example,
exactly,
you know,
exactly for sure.
I would take Red Bull out of that equation because
As a DJ.
as a DJ,
but still,
okay.
but
Yeah.
it still helps.
visibility wise for sure, you know, but it's just not a true representation of who you are as a
Culture
DJ.
and yeah.
Yeah, because you
We
know,
got that earlier conversation about dancer style.
yeah,
So
exactly. You know, because certain events, because of the visibility that they have and the platforms they broadcast to, also means that we have restrictions on the kind of music that you can play. You know, and a lot of dancers don't realize that, but as a DJ, that really limits you in what you're able to do. But it just means that you have to be more creative with what you're able to do, you know?
That's true.
But like we had that, maybe it's a good thing to talk about. But we had that conversation about that Red Bull things. But I really have to give a shout out to my Red Bull Germany family about that dance style thing, because like working with them together, because I heard a lot of things, you know, dancers like they're talking about Red Bull, and you know how it is, man. But I have really good experience with them. You know, they really care about the culture, so I have to give a shout out to them, because I will be there as well this year with Dance Style. And we talked before, I love that mainstream thing, man.
Same.
I'm listening to radio music, you know, I'm really open-minded when it comes to that, so I really love to play there. And yeah, man, so it's not always like a bad thing when these big brands are involved in our scene. It's absolutely not always a bad thing.
No,
you know?
I think it's the same with anything, you know, when we were talking about just our personal business lives as well earlier. And it's like, it's the same with anything where it's like, okay, as a individual freelancer, if somebody with a lot of money wants to hire you, that's a good thing, right? But it's a bad thing if you let them push you around and you let them say, no, you can do it for like half your rate because we're a big, you know, we'll give you exposure. That's when it's bad, right? But as long as you go, no, this is my rate, this is how much, I won't be pushed around and blah, blah, blah. And I think it doesn't have to be Red Bull, it can be any of the big companies.
Sure.
But it's like, I think it's only bad if we don't put our foot down. We can like lay back and let them do whatever they want and then go, oh no, they're so horrible. But they're the ones that are there to make money. We're a culture of people that are just here because we love doing the thing. So we need to be a bit more like aware. Oh, they're coming here to sell things or make money, whoever it is and however nice they are, that their priorities are still business, and that's fine.
Sure,
so we need to be like, when it's time to put our foot down, we put our foot down in the culture in general. And like, for example, like, let's make up a new company. Let's just blame some random company. Let's say like Pims, right? Pims.
But you're drinking this, by the way, bro.
Me, I'm not.
Yeah,
Drinking.
Pims,
There's water inside here, guys.
Free gas water. It's finished, by the way.
So like, say Pims want to hire you as a DJ, right? And they're like, this is more maybe a business conversation, but it's like, okay, they're going to give you like £100 to DJ for like two days straight. And you're like, no. But what can happen is if you go, no, but maybe call Adil, maybe he'll do it. Or maybe say, no, I'm not going to do it. And then don't tell anyone. And then Adil accepts it and whatever. I think the good version of that.
That's a big issue, man.
Is they ask you for £100. You say no. And actually you're not going to get anyone in our scene for £100. Our minimum rates are, you know, 600 for a day or whatever it might be. And then you put down the phone and you call Adil, you call the other, yo, just so you know, Pims are looking for a DJ. I told them I'm not doing it for less than 6. Don't do it for less than 6. And I've done this with dance jobs. Like I had someone call me about a dance job and they said they were, it was something like they mentioned another dancer. So I told them my rates and then I called the other dancer and I was like, listen, I know they called you as well. I've told them I'm not doing it for less than this. And they were like, cool, like I'm not going to do it for less than that either. And I think that's the version where it's like, as long as when it's time and when we see things that are not great, as long as we put our foot down and don't let anyone else get taken advantage of, then it's all good, you know? And I don't think that's just a little side tangent, but I don't think anything that these companies do is inherently evil. Just because they want to make money off our scene is not inherently bad. Yeah. It's when we don't put our foot down and say no and stand up for the other dancers in the scene. Yeah. That's when, or, you know, if we know the kids are getting taken advantage of, we should step in and go, yo, guys, don't do anything. Don't leave the house for less than 200 quid or whatever it might be.
I mean, at the end of the day, you have to know they want to sell more energy drinks. I mean, that's
and we want to make more money.
Exactly.
It's fine.
So if you find a way to balance this and to work with them, because I know they care about the culture, really, because I talk to them. Like,
no one sat there in the boardrooms like, okay, how do we take advantage of this to the max? You know,
it's
like
really
no,
like
it's a win-win that we want to look for.
Exactly.
We think there's all these old evil people just being like, we're gonna mine their culture.
I don't like this, man.
It's mostly they're like, what if we work with these companies? What if we work with dancers and make money off them? And it's like, cool. How much will they do it for? And they're like, I don't know, let's ask them for £150. Then they just try their luck. And then we need to go, no, which is what happens in every business, by the way. Yeah. Even if me and you were doing business, I would say, can I hire you for this much? You would say, actually, I charge this much. I would say, would you do somewhere in the middle? It's normal business practice to go back and forth. So if you accept someone's first offer, in the business world, that's kind of your fault. That's
why I never blame organizers for this one because this is really a good, really good point.
Oh, thank
you know, because now I had this conversation like with many DJs before. Like I always say, like especially to the young guns, please don't sell yourself like for cheap. You know, don't do this for £100 or 150. This is like it's too much work, too much effort, too much time just for do it for £100 or €100, and because like this is so important and. I don't blame the organizers because, of course, they want to think
Save
economically.
that money,
you know,
yeah.
they want to save money, and you can't blame them for the. I mean, they're running businesses,
that's their
so
job.
this is like, yeah, exactly. So that's why, like, it's really hard because there is one guy who will accept this gig for €100. There will.
If
they
you're
will
a
find
young
one.
person, if you're super new,
Exactly.
you're looking for that experience.
They will find
no
one.
hate.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
But I think go for it then.
Yeah,
Go for
absolutely.
it.
That's what I mean.
Absolutely
If you're
fine.
that young person, go for it. But it's like if you want, it's when there's talented people. This is
Yes.
the problem in dance because mostly in business, a talented lawyer knows that they're talented and they know that they've gone through all the school. In dance, you can have someone who's been dancing 6 months. They're amazing, but they don't understand that they're worth
More.
millions or whatever, you know.
Yeah.
So they just go, oh well, I've only been dancing 6 months. I'll accept 100 quid, and that's who they tend to prey on. Is like the how do you call that? The like rising stars.
Yeah.
You know,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
people
yeah.
that are really young but are really good. Then they get them because any of us that are a bit older, we're gonna go nah. But they will go, oh, this person wants Pims want to work with me. All right, like. You
It's
know?
a good point,
Amazing.
bro,
Let me jump on this straight
but-
away. You know.
Yeah, maybe. Sorry, but maybe people won't like me for this one, but.
Yes.
They don't like you anyway,
don't
bro.
like
It's
me.
okay.
No, bro, but I have this conversation also with DJs, with good friends of mine, and I tell them in the face, I don't like what you're doing. I
Right.
don't put
That's
out
so
any
German
names.
of you, you know.
I don't put any names. But bro, I don't like when DJs are paying their own flights to go to events
yeah.
abroad. Bro, I think this is like not a good thing. I mean, just to call the organizer, oh, I'm paying my own flight. Can I play at your event? And the organizer, I don't blame them. Oh, I got a DJ from Germany. DJ Fayme from Germany is coming to China, but he's playing $1,000 for
Dancers
his
do
own.
this too.
For his, I hate this.
They go like, oh, can I be guest at your
don't
battle?
talk about dance. I'm talking about DJs
Yeah,
because you're like stealing the job from another DJ.
Hmm?
Maybe the organizer he has like someone in his mind. He want to book him, but then he says, "Oh, he's like maybe the same level." Because I heard this from good level DJs. I don't put out any names.
Yeah.
DJs they are
That's
DJing
interesting.
as long as me. They're doing this, and this is not
I
a
have
good
the
thing.
same with dancers.
Bro,
Yeah.
I know
this is not
dancers
a-
who are good level.
I don't know
Again,
if you agree with me, bro.
No,
but
I
this is
agree
not a good
because if
thing.
you're a young DJ looking
Destroying-
to get
this is
that,
not completely other
and that's
thing.
what I mean. Like if you're, I understand that, but if you're
destroying the
experienced
market,
already,
destroying the market. You experienced DJ. I heard that, bro. I saw it because organizers told me they were good friends of mine. Told me, bro, this guy is paying his own flight, so I want to book you, but I will book him because he's paying his own flight. And I said, bro, I don't pay my own flight, so I don't come. Book him, okay. Of course, I don't blame him because he's saving money. I don't blame him. He has to think like this. He's doing business. Okay, book him, bro. Like I experienced this a few times, and I have to say it here. I don't like this. Like, don't do this. I mean,
Yeah, I'm with you.
don't sell your.
this is
yourself
the space
like
to say that. It's okay. Let it
Yeah,
all
for
out.
real.
I
you
mean,
know?
I don't know
This
if you
podcast.
agree with me, but
No, I agree with you. And
But-
again, I only agree with you to the point where if we're not talking about a young person in any discipline looking to get the
I don't-
experience,
Don't talk about young.
and that's what I
DJs.
mean. Like
Yeah.
if you're someone new to
Yeah.
the game and you're like,
Yeah.
Do
I
what you
need,
gotta
I
do.
need to
Yo,
get
I do
build up
this.
my
When I
reputation.
started, I do this.
Exactly.
I did
did
this.
so many
I
free
did
events
this.
when I was younger. I was
Yeah,
like,
sure,
hey, I'm
bro.
coming to your event. Can I play for the ciphers?
Yeah.
And I'll go with
That's so
intention.
normal.
I would even
Exactly,
argue
you
that
know?
it's
To get
like
that experience,
you
bro.
have to do certain things like that to build a reputation.
Yeah, that's
Because
another
no
thing.
one's going to give you
I'm
the
not
fucking.
talking about
If you
that,
say it's
yeah.
almost like yeah, of course you're not saying,
Yeah.
but it's almost like giving yourself an audition. It's like even I'll do it for free. Like let me DJ your event for free once if you like me. Like I do it with the podcast. Some of the
Bro,
fucking
that's-
pods you've seen me do or panels, I've said
Yeah.
I'll do a live panel talk for you for free. Let me just show you
Absolutely
that people
fine,
like
bro,
the
because
shit.
you're building. This is
Yeah.
absolutely fine.
But
Absolutely fine.
I think it's like
But I'm talking about
it's also just good business
Yeah.
to learn when is the time to put your foot down and to learn like, all right, I'm worth this much. And at one point you're allowed to say like, no, I'm not doing it. I'm not leaving my house for less than this money. Like, I think to be honest, for me, like, I don't know if you guys would agree with this. Like anything, because I've heard people being like, oh, it's like, oh, did you get paid for this? Whatever it might be, a dance thing or a DJ thing, whatever. Did you get paid? And they're like, yeah, how much? Like £100 or £70 or 75. For me, I would say anything less than 150 quid is they're paying expenses. Like it's not a fee. Like 150 upwards is
That's
a fee.
a favor, you know.
Yeah, anything under 150 is a fee. No matter, is a favor, even if it's a half an hour job. Like for me, editing is like that. It's like, and I think we should all do it. And you know, I don't really mind like putting out kind of business like this, but it's like unless you're a friend, my base rate is 150. So it's like, you know, like tattoo shops have this thing where it's like, even if you have like a smallest tattoos, like there's a minimum rate that you can book. So it's like £100 for a tattoo. And then from there it might get more, but it will never get less. I think we need this as freelancers. It's like
we had that
my base rate, even if they're like, oh, but just play for an hour. Like it's like, no, but I know I don't accept anything less than this, even if you want me to do 5 minutes of DJing. And then it just increases more.
But
on top.
I think it's quite impossible because you will always find that one DJ who's doing it for 50 bucks.
But then you get what you pay for.
Yeah,
probably like also what you're saying is like the good DJs and not
true.
if the good DJs are doing it, then it's an issue because you're fucking up.
Yeah, and it's happening, bro. Trust me, it's happening.
Young DJs or whatever, it's like fine, go and do your thing because when they want to pay more for something higher quality, they'll come calling, and that's fine. But and you know, I was the young photographer or videographer doing things for cheap, but I was doing them for cheap
bro. That's absolutely
I
fine.
had
Because you were young, that's why.
Yeah, but like I would charge. Like, I know they have more money, but I would say, no, only pay me £100 or whatever. Because I'm like, I'm going to fuck this job up. I'm not going to do that good. I'm going to probably lose a memory card on the way. But it's like, I'm a beginner. Like, don't pay me a lot because that means I have to deliver a lot. Now, I'm like, pay me a lot because you're going to get, even if you pay me less, you're going to get a high quality service.
And I would disagree with the phrase pay me a lot. It's pay me what I'm worth, you know? Like,
agreed.
Because you can pay me what I'm worth and I will do a good job. That could be less or big, depending on the event or the context of who I'm working with. If it's a friend and they're paying out of their pocket, for them, it could be paying me a lot. Yeah. But for me, it's still like, that's my worth. Like, okay, you're as a friend, you get mates rates. I'm here to help you. That's cool. You're giving me something. I appreciate it. You get 100% from me.
Yeah. And it's also like, not to say don't do favors. I shoot for free so much.
Hit him up. Free advertising right there, you know?
But it's like, I shoot for free all the time, but it's like with friends.
Bro, that's fine, bro. That's completely other thing. Yeah, it's fine. It's fine, bro, for sure.
But it's just like
it's a big thing, man. I mean,
and just to add on to this point, like we're talking about fees, for example, where don't do it, you know, for less than this particular amount, right? But not just that, it's also about sharing other advice, like, okay, if there's a contracts involved, look for these things in the contracts. Big companies tend to put these things in there, pick them out. You're allowed to say no to certain things in contracts. You can cross them out and be like, I don't agree with this. Okay, we'll take it out the contract. Don't feel like you just have to sign everything just because it's presented to you on paper, you know? Things like this, for example, learn how to do your taxes, all these other things, like you should be sharing with your youngers as well, you know?
Hell yeah. Like I was talking about this with someone recently, yesterday actually, about someone. It's like when you get to a certain level as a freelancer and as a skilled whatever you are, you start to realize that you actually have the power. It's like these companies that, like, even if it's like someone hiring you to DJ or whatever, it's like when you start, you're lucky to be hired to DJ for them, right? Because you're like, oh, I got one of the few jobs. And there's this whole thing, which I think is a bit of a myth about like, oh, it's so hard to make a living as an artist or whatever. I don't really think it is. It's just there's a lot of stupid people, to be honest. But I think like, it's just like there's a lot of people that can't do it, but it's not that it's hard. But like when you get better, you actually realize you as a talented, professional, like reliable artist are way less in, way more in demand.
Like they want you, you know?
Yeah, because
like not the opposite. Like
it's like let's say even like top level breaking events. It's like, okay, there's like however many. There's quite a few good breaking events. There's quite a few good popping events. If we look all over the world, there's quite a few DJs that are gonna play good fucking music with their own perspective, their own identity, who are going to show up on time, who are going to not miss their flights, who are not going to be rude, who are not going to show up drunk. Like now we're looking at maybe like 15 or whatever, you know, it's like a really small amount. So those events are all competing for these same fucking DJs or dancers or teachers or whatever you want to apply this to. And you get to a certain point where you realize that and you go, hold on a minute, I'm fucking good at my job.
True that.
And there's a lot of people looking for someone who's good at their job, you know? And then you go, oh, the power's on me. So then you go, like you said, you get this contractor and you go, I don't have to agree to every fucking thing. Actually, no, I don't want to travel up 2 days before because that's the most convenient flight for you. I want to travel up on the day because I've got other work to do. I'm going to travel up on the day and travel back on the day, you know? And these are the type of things that you can demand when it's not even being good, it's realizing like how much power you hold.
And again, it's also, just to add to that, it's not about being the best.
No.
I know I'm not the best breaking DJ in the world. I don't think anyone is the best per se. That's always subjective. You know what I mean? So for me, it's like, I am good at what I do. I am passionate about what I do. And there's very few people who can say that and then also be in demand, not because of their own skill level, but because of their professionalism, being on time, being happy and reasonable to work with as well, you know, getting along with them.
Bro, being good at your art is like 1 out of maybe like 10 things you need to have to be successful. It's like, it's really not that. It's not like,
not that talent.
Become the best dancer and you're going to be booked everywhere. It's like, also, you know, there's this whole thing about like, you know, only the same, it might be the same in DJing, but it might be the same in dance or whatever, where it's like, oh yeah, it's always the same DJs DJing every battle. It's like, yeah, we would love
for a reason.
You know? We would love to hire. This is like the flip side. Yes, there can be some favoritism and people want to work with their friends, and that's one side of the argument. The other side is we've tried to book other people, but they keep missing their fucking flights. They keep showing up high. They keep doing whatever. Like, these are the reliable ones. It's not just, oh, that's why. It's the same with dancers. Like, oh, these people are always invited as guests or blah, blah. It's like, yeah, because we tried to book you and you didn't fucking show up. So, or you didn't reply to our email.
I will never ever understand.
And it's like, you overlook.
No, man, I will never understand.
You overlook the professionalism
it's your job, yeah. Your profession, I mean, you live from it. You get money from it. How can you let your passport expire, man? I mean, come on, mate.
No, it's true.
I don't get it, man.
But there's so many things
I don't
like
hate, but you know, it's like the basic things.
Basics.
But I'm the same
that
with
expression
everything
as
on
well, though. Your network is your net worth.
Yeah.
I really agree with that statement, and that doesn't mean kissing ass with people to organizers. That just means when you get the opportunity, show up, do a good job, and you will get invited back.
I'll say,
and they will tell other people about you.
Yes,
that's all it is.
I'll say it like that. You know, you said about it's not kicking ass. I know for a fact, pretty much near enough to a fact, there's people that hire me regularly that don't like me as a person. Right? Fine, I don't care. Or then
you don't have to be friends.
No, exactly. But it's like they respect the work that I do. They know that I'm professional. They know that I get the shit done in the way that they need. And I'm going to show up, do the thing, get the whatever it is, the videos or the photos sent on time. And it's like, you don't have to, like, when people talk about networking and building a network, they're like, sometimes think, oh, I have to try and be friends with everyone. You don't have to try and be friends with anyone. In fact, they can actively dislike you. But if you show your worth to them and you show that you can do the job that they require, that's all it is. It's like, oh, I met you. You know that I'm good at what I do. Let's work together. Now, I'm not saying be an asshole around everyone, because, you know, if people don't like you, there's definitely a lowered chance of them hiring you.
Disliking someone doesn't mean being an asshole, though. You know what I mean?
True.
I might not get along with you because of just our personalities, but you've not gone out your way to be a dickhead to me.
True.
That's
exactly.
That's
two different things. Yeah. And I think this is just really important. Like, networking isn't being friends with everyone. Networking is like having professional relationships. I do it all the time when I go to events and I talk to people and I'm like, oh, hey, like I do this and this and this, and let me get your Instagram and stuff. I'm not going to hit them up to go for hang out and have a coffee and have a beer. Like, I'm going to hang out with you guys. But it's like, they're my professional network. So now if I'm like, oh, Sophia, who I work with, wants some experience, can she come and intern in your company? That's the sort of conversation I can have now that we've networked. But it's not like, oh, I'm going to come to your birthday, or, you know, like I used to have this when I first started
dancing.
Where
was my invite, bro? We worked one time together. We're
real.
Best friends now, you know?
When I first started dancing, I had friends, I was more in the like choreography commercial world. I had friends that would be like, oh, should we go out for blah, blah, blah's birthday? And I'm like, I've never met, I've taken class with them 3 times. Like, I don't know them. And they're like, yeah, but there's all their friends are going to be there. It'll be such good networking. Like, they're going to be at this bar. Let's go and meet them. And I'm like, and they know like one person who's like the friend of the cousin that's going. And it's like, I'm not going to go just to try and meet these dancers. If I meet them naturally, I'm going to talk to them. But I'm not like, or like there was someone I had a little bit of a falling out with. And my friend was like, oh, shall I like, do you want me to like ask them if you guys can sit down and have a chat? And I was like, no, I have no interest. Like, they're an asshole. And my friend was like, yeah, but they're a really good contact to have. You should. I'm like, no, I'm not being fake and making up with them when I'm still pissed.
Plenty of other good contacts to have. You know?
Fuck
as long as you don't cancel yourself, which is different. There's enough work and space and time.
And if you just don't like someone, you
know?
don't feel like even if they're the most important, like there's some really important people in our scene who I don't like, or that they wouldn't like me, or you know what I mean? It's like we all have those people who you just meet and you're like, your position in the scene is great, but I actually don't like you as a person. That's fine. You don't have to work with them. Like, don't force yourself to like someone.
That's mature enough to realize like there's a separation between artist and person, for example, you know?
Yeah.
You don't have to like someone's personality to like how they dance. You might not like how they dance, but you love them as a person. But
Yep.
you know, people get convoluted and confuse the
Yep.
two things for one as one.
Yeah, it's
Sorry,
even
you
like
know?
that. Like, there's maybe people that, like, I kind of said this about me, but it's like you might meet someone and you're like, I really don't like that person, but business wise, they're flawless.
Yeah.
Everything they do is perfect. They're always playlists. They're actually what the events or whatever it might be that they're putting on is perfect. Or if they're a DJ, like the music that they play is amazing. I just don't like them, but it doesn't mean that they're not like. I don't want to work with them. You know, it's like there's nuance. I mean, this is my whole thing with life, but it's like when people don't have nuance to thinking, they make really stupid decisions.
Yeah.
It's like you've got to like pick it up. It's not like I don't like that person, I'm never working with them. It's like, all right, unless they are an absolute racist.
Bro,
you don't have to.
I work with people I've disliked all the time.
Yeah,
because
I'm doing it right now.
Hey, Fayme, you know,
Yeah.
not anymore. I'm joking.
We love you, bro.
Yeah, we do.
Sometimes when you bring your adapter.
Yeah, exactly. But no, it's because it's about the work. That's why.
Yeah.
We're not here to be pally
Yeah,
pals.
true.
We're here because I've asked you to do a job. Yes, please.
Can you grab me a Pims? Thank you, babes.
Sponsored by Pims.
Yeah, after we cuss them. When
He's not.
Pims try and get dancers for no reason.
He's not sponsored by Pims. This is not an ad. I think
Yeah.
there's a policy
It
about
could
this
be an
on here,
ad
you know?
though. If you're Pims and you're listening, I will drink you every podcast.
Plug.
Pims, do they have a slogan? Born in London. Oh, I was born in London. The number one
Were
cup.
you?
Yo,
Where
I
are you
actually
really
was.
from?
I'm really from India and America.
Are you going to go there now?
Yo, I actually have an idea for this, but I want to tell you off the pod.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's not a fully formed idea, but I'll talk to you about it after.
Okay.
That's by the way, Pims, that's a fucking terrible slogan. The number one cup. That's their fucking. It's not even in a cup. It's a can. Pims, born in London, the number one cup. What does that even mean?
Chill, open, enjoy. Okay.
Did you? Oh, thank you, bro.
And then there's a bunch of addresses and stuff, you know.
You're just dissecting your Pims.
5.4%, man. You're going to get wrecked tonight, aren't you?
Bro, I'm a massive lightweight.
But we don't drink alcohol. Just
Me, I drink alcohol.
yeah, I know.
Sponsored by Pims. That's
Sponsored by Pims.
He's not really, you know.
The Duke London. It's not even the Duke London podcast anymore. It's the Capsule podcast.
It's the Capsule. So what was the change from the Duke London to Capsule? What was that about?
When I started the Capsule, so here's the history. Probably people, I don't know if people know this.
Wait, was I on the Capsule or was I on Duke London podcast the first time?
I think you were on Duke London podcast.
Oh, wow. So this is my first time on the Capsule.
The Capsule, there we
yeah.
go.
Shout
So
out.
what I did, I mean, it's basically the same thing. But when I started, the Capsule didn't exist. I just started the Duke London. It was like a podcast, and I was like, all right, I'm just going to call it whatever, Duke London. And then when I started the Capsule, it was supposed to be a second podcast per week, right? And it was only going to be like 10, 15 minutes. So I was going to do my interview every week, but also I was going to do like a 10-minute podcast where I just run down the news of the week. And
From
then
the
that's
dance
it.
world.
From the
The-
dance
the-
world. This
like
is the type of
updates,
thing.
you know.
Exactly. So it's short form. You can listen to it quick, like blah, blah. That did not happen. But so then it ended up.
You love to talk too
But
much. That's
a good
why,
idea.
bro.
It's
You know.
still a good idea because there's nothing like that.
Well, we do
Like
news
updates,
sections
you know?
in the weekly podcast. We do like
Okay.
a section of the
Okay.
news of
Okay.
the week.
Yeah, right.
But we
Yeah,
should
right.
really like clip it and
But
put it
it's
out
good.
by itself.
It's good.
But yeah, so then the Capsule podcast started getting longer and longer. Like I started doing like 20-minute ones, half an hour.
Yeah.
Then I started bringing a guest on, like to just chat with me and talk about the
Yeah.
news of the week. And then it ended up becoming like an hour.
Yeah.
It just grew. So then I was like doing interviews that were like 2 hours, and then I do the podcast, the Capsule with a guest that would be at 2 hours. So I'm like, it's basically the same fucking podcast. So I was like, all right, scrap the Duke London thing. And then the Capsule started being like more than just a podcast. So it was like the Instagram, and I started thinking about turning it into like an organization. So now where I'm at is that it's like the Capsule is the whole organization, and then the Capsule is
Big
just
money moves right there.
podcast,
You know?
yeah.
It's a really cool platform, bro.
underneath.
I mean,
Thank you.
like really.
Appreciate that.
I love
Like,
it,
and
man.
it's like a monopoly.
I don't listen to every episode, but when I do listen, I love it. You know,
No,
I really
appreciate
do.
that.
I don't
listen to the ones where we talk about you.
That as well, you know. But also because I also know like certain topics are not going to be of interest to me.
No, of course.
But that's what I love about it. You have variety, you know.
And that's why it's important for us to be consistent. Because if we did like hardly any podcast, like we did 5 podcasts and then we're like, oh, there's not enough views, so we're going to stop. It's like we have to keep going. I mean, I was talking about this yesterday, but it's been a year and a half of the Capsule. And out of a year and a half, I've missed maybe 3 weeks. Like I've
Well
done
done, man.
every
That's
week,
really good.
except
That's
for like
really
3
good.
weeks. So that's, a while.
You're working hard.
Can you add
bro.
some like clapping noises in post?
I actually
you know,
have one. Hold
for
on.
the Capsule, you know.
Here we go. You guys can hear it, but we can.
Yeah.
I don't hear it, but
Let's go. The
Yeah.
capsule.
I think that that might be just anything. We can't hear it, so I think that's
Maybe that was something else, you know.
But yeah. Anyway, so it's like that's why it's like important to be consistent because like I don't expect everyone to listen to every episode, and I know it's about maybe the guests or this like if there's something that happened that they're interested in, they'll listen. But and there's some I know there's definitely some people that listen to like
I know where you're
every
coming
episode.
from, bro. You know, a long time now. So, like to see this like progress, what you're doing.
When I met you, I just danced. I don't even think I took pictures, did I?
I've had that before, man, where I've missed a flight going home, not to the event.
Yeah.
Okay.
Big difference, you know.
Okay, big difference.
Big difference. Like, especially once you get older, man. I could do 2 sleepless nights in a row and still be fine. Now I can only do 1 sleepless night and be fine. I found out the
Still
hard
good,
way.
bro. Still good. I
God,
cannot
thank
do that.
you. You know, yeah. Thank you. I don't know how long I can still do this for, but on the second sleepless night, I slept for 30 minutes. That ended up being 6 hours, and I missed a flight home. Luckily, it was only Dublin. What's only down the road from England, you know, from Manchester.
I mean, on the way home, if you can afford to book yourself another flight,
Exactly.
Then it
So
doesn't
I
matter.
was calm about it. You know, it's not like I was 18 and broke, for example. You know, I'm like, all right, it happened. It's my fault. Take responsibility
It's
for
all
it.
good, yeah.
But you make a day out of it. You know what I mean? So that's how friendships are formed. Look at you two now,
Two
doing a
children
podcast
Dublin.
together. You know.
I know. You know what's so crazy? It's like I feel like 3 years ago when have we seen each other? Because we saw each other that night, and then when did we see each other next in Gloucester?
I think yes. But,
Wait,
but
really?
we were still
Since
in
then?
contact.
Yeah, like we
No,
spoke
I think
loads.
There was one. There was event.
I'm like,
before,
when
bro.
we must have seen each other like at international
at
stuff.
Pop City.
Oh yeah, you came for Pop City
In London.
and maybe I
Oh.
hadn't seen you until Pop City.
Oh, okay, but just short. I think like because Pop
Yeah,
City
we
is,
literally
like,
you were DJ and I was like, hey.
Yeah, yeah.
And
something
then it was
that.
like Gloucester that we actually hung out
Yeah,
again.
yeah.
But
But it
it's so-
feels like friends.
But I think we
for,
we
like, a long
talked
time.
loads on Instagram and stuff.
Yeah.
Like flirted and stuff.
Yeah, exactly.
You flirt with everyone though.
Yeah.
Well, you know,
You flirted with me one
I
time.
like
I'm sure.
attention. What can I say, guys?
That's why you have a platform, mate.
Exactly, just to get attention. That's actually very true. It's like, how can I make my voice heard? I'll start my
How
own
can I make
podcast.
money doing what I like to do? You know.
Well, I still haven't figured out the answer to that question. I'll get there at some point. Anything else? Any yeah. I don't know. Anything else?
I don't know, Fayme. You like
What
playing
Talked
for hip hop
about
battles?
Some.
What time do you
I
have to
think
get
there
to
was
the
like one thing we
I don't know,
talked
whenever.
this afternoon, and it was like really important. But I don't know.
I don't know.
What
I
it-
One
mean,
thing
we-
that was really important.
We
Yeah,
were
but
teaching-
maybe we talked about
Did we
it.
talk about the,
What, you two or us two? You mean?
Yo, like when we were together at the bar.
we were talking about playing like mainstream songs and stuff, and like
maybe that's an
Yeah.
issue.
about like
Issue?
Not issue, but
Cool, 'cause
like,
we kinda
like
spoke about-
important point to talk about it.
we spoke about it a little bit,
Like,
but like
mainstream music at battles played by DJs.
No, we were talking about quality and like homemade beats, for example. you
Yeah.
know? But we've already
Yeah.
touched on that earlier when it comes to cheap
But
beats,
it's
for example.
kind
You
of
know?
the same direction. Yeah.
It is. It's
I mean, there
related.
are certain beats of new beat makers which are not well mixed from a music production.
yeah. Oh, that's what
perspective.
I was saying about the bass just being like
yeah. If you hear it maybe in your phone, it sounds good.
Yeah.
Maybe even in your car, it sounds good. But if you hear it on the good speakers, it's like oh. So
or
maybe
it's like
that's-
there's vocals that you can't hear. 'cause,
yeah, man. So maybe that's really an advice for younger producers because like we were producing.
Oh, Fame's just getting old, and you know, once you get old, all you do is just talk to your youngers.
Yeah,
Just you're
man, I'm
like,
getting
hey, you're
old,
doing
bro.
this wrong. You gotta do this.
No, not
now,
wrong,
you
bro.
know?
But just
be better. You know.
yo, come on, man. We listen to those.
I'm younger
beats.
than you, bro. I'm not that old yet.
Come
you know.
on, man.
Yeah, you're the oldest here, I think.
Really?
How old are you?
I don't know.
You don't want to say? How old are you? You're my age.
Me? What year were you born?
89.
you're older, bro.
I'm older.
Yeah.
Am I the oldest here? No.
no. He's
You're
the
I'm
oldest,
84.
then you,
Oh,
then me.
okay.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm old.
But I look the oldest because of my white hairs.
Yeah,
Yes.
I'm
that
trying to be a
must-
silver fox.
Yeah.
You know, I'm
you're doing
open
good.
about that. You know. Thank you. It's the stress.
I find you very attractive.
I appreciate that.
Yeah,
you know?
but I think the more interesting thing is the mainstream music at battles. So
I think we need.
so I have absolutely no problem
I love it.
to play those beats. We just showed the
Yeah, yeah.
example.
Mm-hmm.
But I think like some DJs are like a little bit like not afraid, but a little bit more distant to it, you know, because of the realness.
It's bro,
of the
but like
hip-hop.
yeah, it's like
You know what I
we-
mean?
have
But
you
maybe
had the
it's different
phase as
in
well?
breaking.
No, it's the same in breaking. Like we've all had that phases. Like
Yeah.
as an example, 90s hip hop is the best
Yeah,
hip hop
yeah.
of all time. Like
Yeah.
I've had that phase when I was younger. Don't get me wrong, but hip hop in itself is contemporary.
everybody does.
The culture itself should be contemporary. It's like what is hip today?
Yes, thank
You know
you.
what I mean? So maybe you don't like it. That's different. But you being closed-minded to it is worse, I would
And
say.
it's
You know,
like what
And
annoys
it's in the
me.
world with hip, you know, it's hip hop. Yeah.
And this is what annoys me is that those people that are like the most closed-minded about progress are the ones that are like, oh, but it's about the culture, and like the culture is fluid. The culture moves and changes with
the
every
hip in
generation.
hip-hop.
So if you're
Yeah.
not care, if you're like, oh, the kids are, how can the kids be wrong if they're the ones that are doing it now? Like
their culture now.
it's
You
their,
know,
yeah, and it's like, all right, 90s, let's say 90s hip hop for hip hop battles or whatever, or like as opposed, let's say the battle that the beer track.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, if we're talking about hip hop culture, what is hip hop culture? We're talking like everyone goes on about like, oh, the parties and the jams and the socializing and blah, blah. No one is fucking socializing to battle beats. It's just not happening. So if you want to talk about culture, that's more culturally relevant because that's what we're socializing to. That's what we're partying to.
That's what people are listening today.
Are listening to social dancing. That's what there is.
It's the hip in hip hop, bro.
Exactly.
It's
And
like the
if
hip-
you're talking about these battle beats or whatever it might, even if it's like old
Yeah.
school 90s hip hop, it's like, when was the last time you went out to a mainstream club and got down? Oh, they're like, oh, you can't dance with a girl or whatever. Are you dancing with a girl to Das FX now?
Now he's playing in clubs. You can ask him like directly.
Yeah, most.
Do you
but I
play
mean,
like those songs? Like?
unless
I
it's a
play all
dancer's
the new
night.
shit.
Yeah.
But again, if I like it,
Sure, of
so
course.
but
of
I'm
course.
not.
Yeah, yeah,
So
but-
you know what I mean? Like
Sure.
Like you mentioned
Sure.
the Ice Spice ages ago
Yeah.
earlier this afternoon. Like yeah, I like some of her songs. Nothing wrong with that. Would I play in a battle? Don't know. You know,
Different.
I haven't got to that
Record,
point. You know what I
As
mean?
a dancer, I'll fucking bang out some Ice Spice.
Bro, Ice Spice
Let's
is the
go.
shit.
I'll fucking smoke people to Ice Spice.
But that's what I
And
mean.
be-
Like
I wanna fucking-
It says, "Man, I'm too old. I will get my ass kicked to Ice Spice.
10 seconds in, like, you know what I mean?
Bro, that is me.
Because she's like flowing.
Yeah.
But that's what I mean. Like, at least I'm listening to music, and then I'm making a decision. I'm not closing myself up completely
This
from
is
new
good.
thing today.
When
You
you're
know?
open-minded,
Yeah.
this is what I miss sometimes at breaking DJs. Like to be honest, because they were sometimes strict, you know.
No, but I think. But
many.
it also,
bro.
I think it sort of relates to a point that we were talking about, I don't know, an hour or 2 hours ago, where it's like when younger DJs are able to experiment and play and mess around a little bit more, because the more you do something and the more you grow up in something, not that you be more closed-minded after a while, but you feel more restrictive. It's like
restricted is
you know,
right,
You
right.
feel?
yeah, no, and restrictive by yourself, by your own measures. You know, like I can't go and play something that doesn't feel like me anymore, but if someone else plays it and it feels like them, great, and it might have worked, it might have got a better reaction to what I was playing. That's fine, that's them, and they owned up to who they are. That's not me, so I can't fake it and just play for the sake of,
course,
playing
yeah.
it. You know what I
There
mean?
was a mainstream song like with 120 BPM, and it's like really banging, and it got that dum 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 rhythm, which is quite normal
Doop,
today.
doop, doop. Yep.
Like, would you play it? Like,
I mean, that was
Like a
that's
mainstream pop hit.
that's what Pusha T was last year.
yeah,
You know what I mean?
yeah.
That one track by
was
Pusha T.
mainstream.
You know,
Kanye
it's
West,
mainstream song.
produced by Kanye West. Yeah.
But it takes like someone to like play it in the breaking scene for everyone to be like, oh, okay, we're allowing
Did you
this
play
one.
that?
Like,
I have played it, yeah.
Oh, yeah, the Smoke
I mean,
the
that,
Track
that
is
song,
a really
that song
culture.
came out in April. I played it in April.
I think
But
you're the
also
first
know-
person that played it. for
Well,
me.
you say that, but
I
I know
always say that.
I know Nobunaga also says that
He
he's the
played it
first
earlier?
person. Yeah, he says, bro, I played it first. You know, I'm like, cool. I don't give a fuck that you said that. You know,
Because for me, I'm a Pusha fan
Shout out
anyway.
Joey.
Joey, my guy, Nobu.
Yeah,
he's
for
a
me-
brother, honestly. But that's the
Yeah,
thing.
man.
That's
You
not to
were
say
the
it's
first person I
competition.
heard to play it.
And that's different, right? I mean,
Yeah.
so there's certain songs that I play that people associate with me, but I know I'm not the first one to play it.
Yeah.
It's just that I'm the first one they heard play it.
But we're glad
You know?
that you
Yeah,
did.
but-
but also, it's like, I wish, especially with hip hop, man, it's like, I could go on this for ages.
A lot of
but
good mainstream
there's
stuff in hip hop, bro. Come on, man.
It's not like
Hip-hop
we're
is
starved for good
mainstream.
music.
I don't understand
Hip hop is
how
mainstream.
they don't play
There's- I
that
hear songs
smooth
like
shit, man.
all the time. Like I send so
Like
many
we
to
talked
Lewis.
before, like when you're vibing in your car, to
Yeah.
get new music, bro.
Bro, I wanted to find this track that I was listening to the other day. I sent to Lewis.
But even if you're going back to say old school roots, though,
This is what I mean. Like I'm missing in the breaking scene. Like
yeah.
like a
No,
little
no,
bit
but
like districted, like you
it
said
is,
before.
it is.
You
It's
know what I
because
mean?
you come with this
maybe
arrogance,
don't get
you
me
know?
wrong, but you know what I mean. Like
Yeah,
a little
yeah,
bit
absolutely.
like. Put your microphone.
Like, I heard this the other day in the car just because I was listening to it, and I was like,
yeah,
this
that
should be played in a hip hop bar. Tell me if you agree or disagree.
Oh, for sure, bro.
I'm still waiting to make up my mind.
Because for me as a dancer, I would love to get this.
Yeah, I know that. You showed me
Yeah,
before.
nigga like me, so season for season, the season you see me see ya. Yeah, nigga
It's a little bit like more low energy, but I know I get your point. Like,
But like for me, it's like okay, this is more of a thing. Like this is a first time I heard it, I was like, sounds like Jid.
you can
But
rock
it's-
to the lyrics.
Yeah,
like,
that's what I thought it was.
Yeah, it's not Jid, but it sounds really like him.
70 BPM.
But
I
it's like
think,
this,
yeah.
like it has this bounce,
it's
and it's
down.
like I feel
But that bounce didn't exist 20 years ago. Even though hip hop was
it's a
alive 20
different
years
type
ago.
of bounce. Yeah.
Yeah, but it's still
70 BPM or 140. Yeah.
you know what I mean? Like it's not like that's something that was common
Yeah.
a long time ago. It's common
Oh, there's-
today.
yeah.
You know what I mean? So it's like, shouldn't hip hop culture be reflective? And I hear many breakers talk about this where I want to hear music of today. Of course, then get DJs of today as
I
well.
agree.
I'm not one of those DJs of today. I'm a DJs of 10, 13 years ago when I
But
started.
you play also like new stuff.
Yeah, but that's new stuff that's still to my taste. Everyone's favorite music is from their teenage years.
But there's a
You know what I mean?
difference because I think the difference is like
I would never play drill and a breaking battle, for example, or a hip hop battle.
right.
Even though that's the music of today in the UK.
Why?
Do you know what I mean? Because that's just not my style.
No garage.
Not even garage. You know what I mean?
Garage would be sick.
Yeah, and of course, and you know what?
No,
and
bro,
some
I
DJs
don't
do, and
like-
fair play to them. If it works with when they play it in the context they play it, or maybe that's their identity, by all means, do you. It's just not me. But I'm not gonna hate on someone or stop someone else from and say like,
but,
oh, that's not real
yeah.
breaking music or that's not real hip hop music.
But I
You
respect
know what I mean?
that, bro. If you say like it doesn't identify myself, like I totally
And
respect.
To be honest, I think it's like this is what I'm all. This whole conversation is I'm speaking
love
as a
garage,
dance,
right?
not as a. Oh, I love garage. This is my
I
era.
love garage. Don't get me wrong.
This was like me as a kid. Like it's my years. You know, early
you
'90s.
told me before, yeah.
But like it's like you know, growing up, it's like my uncle used to listen to it loads.
bro,
It's
I
really
love
like
garage,
a
man.
emotional connection to garage for me. But I'm speaking as a dancer, not as a DJ at all. But for me as a dancer, what I want is a DJ with their own style, right? I don't want to hear a mix of all stuff that you think is going to please me. It's like if you're the DJ that doesn't play drill and blah, 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 and all the new stuff, but you have your shit that you play, and I'm like, oh, whenever you play, which I think is true of you, whenever you play, it sounds different to, let's say, like Josh or Sheldon, right? When they play hip hop. When you play hip hop, it's different. But it's you. It's not like you're not playing the same, like, I don't think I've ever heard like you and Josh play the same tracks, besides maybe
No.
some obvious
Some
bangers.
classics,
like,
maybe, for example,
Yeah,
if
the
that, you know.
Smokers track, like
Yeah.
maybe that one. But Josh really has his own thing, which I really like about him. And so do you. And it's like, that's what I want from a DJ. I don't want you to play stuff that you think I'm going to like.
signature.
Like if
Its
you
own
played all this
signature.
new stuff, but it was just
Yeah,
not
its own.
quite the right stuff because you're like, oh, I'm just playing Ice Spice. Luke said he likes Ice Spice. It's like, I want it to be the shit that you like, and that way the stuff that you choose is going to be really authentic, you know? And it's like, I don't need you to
and
play
if
the new
I play a
stuff.
song that I really like and I play it for the right dancer, that's when shit's gonna go through the roof.
Yeah.
In that moment, you know.
And even the
Same.
start, it's like, okay, I can
You
look at
connect
Fayme.
with the
I
dance.
look at Fayme and be like, oh yeah, he got big playing this like R&B and poppy music. I'm gonna play R&B in popping, and then I'm gonna get big. And it's like the difference is it's not about playing R&B and poppy music. It's his ear for R&B and what he thinks works with popping. And the same with you. It's like I could be like, oh, I'm gonna play the same shit that he does, but it's like it's your ear to pick that stuff. That's what
Yeah.
makes you valuable. You know what I mean? Or to us.
But it's so interesting, bro. It is like a big risk to play breaking now at a major breaking event. Like it is like a big risk. It's just
It's a big
interesting,
risk,
you know?
bro. Like even at smaller jams, like
Yeah.
I know one of my songs that
It's
I
like off
play
the rhythm, right? It's
rhythm
yeah.
and again just the scene itself. You know,
Yeah,
like the
yeah,
breaking scene isn't
Like
that
the
forgiving.
attitude. Yeah,
It's
yeah, I
really
know,
not
I know,
forgiving
I
at
know.
all.
It's different, bro. It's
It is,
different
and
than our like
Like
standard.
I think within the street dance styles, and I'm not talking hip hop, I'm talking
Yeah.
street dance. I think breaking and house are on the opposite ends,
Oh, house is like
You
the
know what I
most
mean?
spiritual, forgiving,
right?
like,
And the most welcoming and
don't
open
forgive.
armed as well. Whereas
They are.
They-
House
they
is the
are.
most
it
forgiving.
is right.
Okay.
Whereas
But
in
breaking, don't forgive, bro.
No, no,
I've run one experience. I will
yeah,
tell
and
later.
in breaking, it's like you have to
breaking.
earn your stripes to get that
Yeah.
that place. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And yeah, there's one song that I play now that's a recognized banger. It's one of my signatures that no one else
What is it?
plays. I can't tell you the name.
Okay, fair.
Track 2.
I know.
One of them.
But like, I remember the first moment I played that song, it was a risk because it was in the final between two hype crews
yeah.
in a UK event. And it was the first song, so it's like, oh, this is brand new to everybody. But,
But
I took
today
that
you're
risk.
happy that you take the risk,
I
right?
am happy because it paid off.
Bro,
But it's
this
me
is
realizing
what-
like this paid
this
off.
is what I mean,
and I
bro.
believed in that particular song. If some songs don't work and I still
But
believe in
you
it,
liked
I will do
right?
it, you know?
First. You liked it first.
I loved it first. That's
this
why.
is the main
It gave me a feeling.
This is what I
Simple as
was
that, you
talking
know?
about.
I have a question for Fayme actually.
Yeah, bro.
Because it made me think of what you were saying, made me think of it.
But don't forget to tell my experience with the breaking.
Oh, go
Oh
ahead.
yeah,
Can
go
I-
ahead.
can
Go
I-
ahead.
yeah,
Yeah, do
go
that
first.
first.
Mine's-
Like,
mine's
I was
something
like
different.
a really young DJ, 2010, and like I said before, my first gigs were abroad, and it was in Norway. And Norway back then, the breaking scene was really like.
Oh shit! I didn't realize this was live until
Yeah,
I just
bro,
checked my
live.
phone.
I don't know how many.
Have
views.
I said
Do
anything
you
that I
see
would?
it? How many views?
Let's have a look.
Like 1 or 2, I think. My algorithm is fucked up, bro.
Oh my god, it's 50,000.
Oh, do I?
No, it's one.
Fame is famous.
I didn't realize. I looked on my phone
Yeah,
and I
no,
was like,
it's all
"Holy
good,
shit,
it's all
we're
good.
live!" I'm like,
Famous with 1.
did I say anything stupid?
But it was like in Norway, and
Yeah,
Norway
sorry.
back then, I don't know how it is today, the breaking scene, but back then it was like really conservative, like really funk music. And like I was like I didn't have like that much idea of the breaking scene. I was a popping DJ 2010. That event was called Pop What You Got, and
Oh,
it
I
was
know
like
that event.
popping. But they had like a breaking, not side
Battle.
event, but like
Category.
breaking category.
Yeah.
Yes, and they asked me to play it. I said okay. So
You play for breaking battles?
bro, it was
Oh,
like
amazing.
First
I
and
wanna
last
hear
time.
this.
First and last time. And you know, I asked like a b-boy back then from my city to give me some beats, you know, and he gave me, and I was like, okay, I will play those beats. And there
Maybe
was
hold
like
the
some
mic more, like-
Prodigy stuff, and you know, Prodigy, and you
Oh,
know,
that's risky.
and I played those stuff, bro. And the b-boys there, they were like throwing like
Cans.
cans at me, like
No.
play those techno music, like fucking techno. I was like, oh shit. You know, I was like really young, and I said, okay, I will never play breaking again.
Wow.
So that's what this is like
traumatizing,
what
bro.
you're
Yeah.
saying, that you have to earn your like respect. So I respected that, man. Like later on, we were talking, and they were explaining it to me. I understand it. I said, bro, I'm like really young DJ. I'm DJing for 2 years, so I respect you, and we were cool then, but it was like a mad experience, man.
Yeah. Here's a tip for you. And this is what I've done with.
Don't play breaking.
Too late, bro, too late.
But this is a tip for you that I
When they throw
learned.
cans, duck.
You know those, you know those Prodigy stuff. You know?
Yeah, bro, I know,
I'm a
I know.
fire
I
starter.
know, yeah.
I love those stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, of course, bro.
Yeah.
Come on. But
actually a
but
big
this is
track.
what I learned to do. Is like if I'm playing or if I'm being asked to play for a style that I'm not comfortable playing for, but the organizer has no other choice but to have me play because of budget, because of whatever else, right?
Can
Then-
happen, yeah, sure.
Of course, and you still want to be helpful, right? All right, cool. I can play songs, but I don't know what songs to play. Ask the judges for the music. Don't ask another
Good one,
DJ.
bro.
Ask
Good
for the judges. You know, that's how I got my crumb collection. Shout out Luke from France. You know, like I didn't. I don't know where to dig for crumping music or what crumping sound is. And
Good one.
crumps evolved so much in the last 10 years. Anyway, it's different to how it started. You know, so was the music.
Yeah.
Good one. So that
Yeah.
was a big like experience for me, like abroad, like young DJ. I'm going to Norway, and that
That's
was
hilarious.
like, oh man, I feel really bad in that moment. But
Shout out to the b-boys that traumatized Fame.
that throw that
Gives
that
me
cans
more
on-
work.
love
You know.
You know what I was going to ask you?
So no, sorry.
No, don't be sorry. Is because I guess you're a dancer, right? Like
Used to be.
initially. Well, yeah, but like as in
In my heart, I'm still a dancer.
yeah, like you came from the dance scene, and I think, like I always think of everything through the lens of a dancer, even if I'm shooting or whatever, because I know what it's like.
Same
to
as a
be in
DJ.
that.
It's-
Yeah,
yeah.
But for Fame, like, so I guess for us, maybe let's say the way I shoot dancers or the way you play for dancers, you're thinking about maybe being a dancer or how to do that. But like, what goes through your head of like, okay, I'm gonna DJ this. This is gonna be. What am I asking? Like, this song will be good for a popping battle. Like, how do you think about? Are you thinking about people that you've seen, or like the bet? Do you think of the best dancers, and you're like, oh, Bruce and Frankie would kill this track, so I'm gonna play it for popping? Or do you think, okay, I've seen loads of people train to this track. Like, how are you thinking? If it's not through the lens of like, I know what it's like to battle in popping. How do you play good popping tracks?
It's maybe a little bit hard to explain, but it's kind of a specific feeling I developed throughout the years. Like it's like I said, 15 plus years now. It's so special. I cannot explain it like that well, bro. But it's like a special feeling I get when I hear the song. I know that this is a banger, you know.
But yeah, sorry.
But I don't know. But I don't want. It's not banger like hard thing, you know. I play
It's just like,
also
it's gonna
smooth
work.
things. Yeah, it's gonna work. Yeah. So there's a specific feeling, and I don't have like dances in my mind.
But did you ever like talk to dancers and be like, ask them about how they listen to music or what they prefer, or you know what I mean?
Yeah, I know what you mean, bro. I used to do this like a lot when I was younger. Like I talk to them or like sending them beats. Hey, how would you dance? Because like I said, I'm not a dancer. Like,
Right.
of course, like everybody's dancing.
Sure, you
know,
don't, but
I'm
you're not like you did with
professional.
professional battles.
I can do the Fresno, bro.
That's sick.
but I of course I was in a popping crew, obviously, like back then actually, and like Popping Hood, you know, the OG from Germany, and like he teach me a lot. Like I sent him beats. I said,
That's
bro,
after you started DJing.
yeah.
Okay.
I said, like, bro, is this like something
this
for
work?
popping?
Yeah.
Is this working? And he said this and this and this because he got a really good knowledge, and like I learned a lot of him. So from him, so yeah, like it's, and that feeling like it developed now. Nowadays, when I hear a song, you know, there is no popping music. You know, if I hear an R&B song with a good snare, and I'm like immediately my mind is like, oh, okay, this could be something for popping. So I don't think about dancers. It's just the experience I have like throughout the years, you know, like, bro, it's been like 17,
It's more of like natural now. You're
years,
not thinking about
like
it.
organic feeling, which is there, you know. When I hear those songs, it's like, okay, I can play this at battles. Same with hip hop, you know.
Yeah.
When I listen to radio, bro, like that Bia song again, that example, like I heard it in radio, I was like, oh damn, this is something for hip hop battles. It's like experience thing. I think it's the same with him when he's hearing music, he knows like immediately, okay, this might be something for a battle or not. Like this is like a thing which you develop throughout the years with your experience.
You know what's
Like,
interesting
like
though, also I'm just thinking of me as a dancer picking music, you know, even like when I do sessions or something, I love putting together the playlists and stuff. And it's like, it's almost interesting because you're thinking of like what works or what doesn't, I guess, for battles. But as a dancer, you're not really training to, well, I'll speak for myself. I never trained to like, this is something I can or can't dance. It's more about how am I going to dance to that. So we used to do in training is like we would put like random playlists or like put the most weird different music because we know DJs are going to play all sorts of different stuff. So we used to put like pop songs and then like a breaking track or this or that and like try and like pop to all of it, you know. And it's like, all right, we have to learn to like adapt to different music. I don't know what people are doing
That
now.
gives me a memory that I'm going to share with you, by the way, after you finish your point.
Fuck's sake. But like all that to say is like when I'm picking music now, like for whatever, I don't really have a like yes or no filter. I just think like maybe like, is this the mood I'm in or whatever? Because it's like kind of whatever you're gonna play. Like I'm like, oh, like there's no song that you're gonna put in a battle that I'm like, I might just be bored by it because I've heard it loads. But if it's, that's why I'm like, I'd rather something new that I haven't heard, even if I don't like it, because I'm like, cool, I gotta learn to adapt to this. Then try, yeah. Where you going? What was the memory?
No, I just remember because you said you would put on random
Yes.
other styles to practice to.
I love dancing to different tracks.
Yeah, no, I just remember this one event I played in Coventry, a small jam called 1 2 Freeze back in the day.
Yeah, you spoke about this, and I always think it's the 100 to 1 battles, but it's not that.
No, it's this one that was in
remember
the art gallery upstairs, or in the museum upstairs, actually, in Coventry Centre, and it was a breaking battle, breaking jam, breaking music all day, you know, and you happened to come and chill. There's no.
Oh, I do remember that battle.
Yeah,
I came with my friend who was a breaker.
Perhaps, you know.
Yes, I do. I know exactly what event
and
you're
I just
talking
remember like, and we were cool at the time, but I just remember at the end, once the battle had finished of the day, and there's still some time to play music after the battle, so you just chill.
I have a
you
feeling
know?
I don't come across well
You
in
know,
this
and
story.
then you just ran to me at the decks, all sweaty and shit, and you're like, "Can you please play some popping music? I've been popping to breaks
Like
all
typical
day, you know."
popping
I
dancer,
remember
man.
that. Bro, it's
Typical
true though.
popping dancer,
Because it's like,
bro.
I was like, oh, you know, like when I was that's so funny.
play some
I
funk
fully
class.
remember that. But I was like, because when we started, like I trained with Lee and Mus, right? And they trained with a breaking crew. So my whole beginnings was like dancing in with breakers,
Breaking,
right?
yeah.
And even when I started, like, you know, shout out to people like Monsters crew and stuff like that, because when I started, they were the ones being like, you have to fucking know how to go hard in ciphers and blah, blah. And we used to look up to people like Djidawi and Salah and all these people who were like hardcore battle heads.
I have a story about him, man.
He's a gangster.
That's
fucking
next.
love that guy.
That's next, man.
But we used to watch them and we're like, oh, they fucking cipher or battle like b-boys. Like they're not scared of shit. They go in. And I think when, like, say at events like that, I was always taught, like, if you can cipher with b-boys, you're good anywhere. because like that type of energy is different. If you can get in a breaking cipher and keep the energy going the same way a breaker does, and then get out and let the next person in, it's like I think we have this kind of luxury now where the scenes are so disconnected. There's like poppers will go in and do like 2-3 minute rounds and be like all in there. Oh yeah, I'm doing this waving concept, and it's like it used to be everything's mixed, and breakers
Back in the day, yeah.
if you don't come in and fucking start delivering within 3 seconds, they're like, get the fuck out of our cipher.
Yeah,
And
you kill the cipher.
and there's no like in our scene now there's a lot of like, oh no, but we're all here to exchange and blah, blah. Like though in break-in ciphers I mean I don't know now, but in those days there was none of that. It was get the fuck out, like even if we have to push you out.
It's know your cipher, you know.
Yeah, it's exactly
Like who's in the cipher right now? Am I part of this conversation? Can I be part of this conversation?
people kill me for saying this shit,
You know what I
but anyway, so when I had that where it's like I was like, all right, I'm here. I came with my friend. He was doing the battles, and I was like, all right, fuck it. But I was like, I'm going in all the ciphers to get some practice in and get used to like, you know. And I didn't get fucking pushed out of any ciphers, so hopefully I did all right.
No, if people didn't walk away and they stayed, you've
Yeah.
done a good job.
Yeah,
you
yeah.
Because like you said, it's not mixed anymore like it was in the late 70s, 80s,
Yeah.
or whatever else, you know. Because now it's so disconnected. It's connected but disconnected within the same scene, you know.
Yeah.
Yes, b-boys don't stay and watch popping battles at the same event, for example. Back in the day, you'd have the same ciphers together, you know. And there's very few poppers today that are of the caliber where b-boys will respect them, or breakers will respect them. Sorry, in general, like Green Tech comes to mind. Every breaker loves Green Tech to the point
Because
where
they
like,
recognize traits in him and the way he battles.
yeah, and like he battles with that breaking energy almost
Yes,
as well.
yes.
You know what I mean? Like, and if you watch him cipher, I'm sure it's like a pleasure to watch, and then
Oh,
feed
yeah.
off the energy. You know?
Yeah.
Whereas if you come in with the mentality like, oh, I'm just gonna do me, I'm just gonna not
It's-
care about the conversation and the cipher
mentalities
here. You
have
know?
shifted because when
Yeah.
I first started, poppers were all training with breaking crews, and they thought like breakers and they battled like breakers, and it was like the breaking crew that had some poppers associated or with it. Like now it's like you could grow up from your beginning in popping, have been popping for 15 years and have never been around breakers. You know what I mean? Or
Yeah.
any other
And
styles.
that's possible today, isn't
and
it? Yeah.
the house scene is it's all very, which I love because it means we've expanded and grown, but the scenes are very disconnected. So where before it was like we're all mixed and we all get a touch of each other's.
And I don't think that's right or wrong.
No,
it's just the way it is.
Yeah. I think the only reason it's right is because it means that we've grown and there's more people doing the shit. So
But also, watching other styles is going to help you your own style.
100%.
You know?
That's what I loved about the scene being smaller, is that like I knew all the breakers. I mean, a lot of the people that are my friends now that are breakers, house dancers, I knew from back then. Like it wasn't, now it's like, you know, I know a lot of the younger hip hop dancers and poppers, but like we don't have that huge of a house scene here. But like if there was more house dancers who were,
And breaking and the house go hand in hand as well. There's so many
Sure.
breakers that love house steps.
yeah.
You
But
know?
there's not, unless you consciously leave your house to go to a house event,
Yeah.
you're not just going to randomly
No,
encounter house
exactly.
dancers.
And I'm sure house dancers could learn from breaking footwork when it comes to their
100%.
lofting, for
Like
example.
even
you know?
we were talking, you know, I was saying about me ciphering with at the breaking event, but we used to have, I mean, one of the biggest one was Madame Jojo's, where it was house music every week or however long
JoJo's
it
was fun, man, back in the day.
but it was every style came. It wasn't like, oh, that's a house club. It was the dance club. But it's like you have poppers, whackers, breakers, whatever, all to house music. So there's a whole generation of poppers like Brooke and those guys and Sean and all of that generation of poppers who could 100% dance to house music. But now there's maybe a lot of poppers that are like,
That's why I love watching Brooke, for example. He's just good to watch on any
Doesn't give a fuck about
song.
the music.
Crazy,
He just
man.
kills
Yeah.
every song, and he's coming tomorrow as well, isn't he? Right?
Is he?
I think he's judging tomorrow.
Really?
He's judging the
Really?
popping.
Yeah, he's judging.
He's judging
What?
tomorrow.
Shout
yeah,
out
yeah.
Brooke, my brother.
Brooke is
and
judging.
Dixon,
Yeah.
my brothers.
yeah, you love
And
those.
that's what I mean. Like,
Bro, I love those
like
guys.
Yeah,
dancers
yeah.
like these who are adaptable
Yeah.
to any kind of music,
Exactly.
they're just a joy to watch, you know?
I just love those guys, man. Shout out Firehouse,
I wish
man.
I
Crazy
wish I
guys.
knew. I would
Are
have
you
told
double
But
checking that
we
Brooke's
want
coming
I'm
tomorrow?
texting
now?
him.
Oh, okay. Because you know Luke's famous, and you know he knows everybody.
He's not going to
now.
answer my text.
He's famous,
I just
bro.
just because I
You're
have
the
his
real-
number doesn't mean he's going to reply.
You're the real fame, bro.
Yeah, I'm the real fame.
So
The Duke
you were talking
London.
about Djidawi, man. That's really
Yeah, go on, tell me the
interesting,
story.
man. Maybe it's a little bit off topic, but this guy, man,
Fuck it, man.
I was with him in Mexico earlier this year in February. Like we were invited. He
Oh, I
was judging.
saw that. Yeah, yeah.
He was judging. I was DJing, and like we know each other like for a long time. But that was the first time we had like we're staying in the same apartment. You know, like we shared the same room, but like separated bathrooms and sleeping rooms. But we were in the same apartment, so we had a lot of time. And this guy, man, because like earlier we talked about winning battles. You remember? And this guy, if you like, just watching the facts,
He didn't win.
he didn't win like that much.
No.
I think there was one I love this dance event which was off the hook.
With him and Marvin.
Exactly. That's
This one?
But bro, except this.
I watched that video so
Bro.
many times.
But if you leave that like on the side, there was no event.
No.
Like he like a big, because even on Just the Boo, like he I think he lost
They
like in
didn't-
the
yeah.
quarterfinal or
Yeah,
semifinal.
yeah. Him and
And
Pepito
I
didn't
had
win.
like a big conversation, a long conversation with him, and he said like, it's not about winning, man. It's about the impact, and it's about.
I've been saying
He
this.
said people should remember you, how you dance, and not with your titles. And bro, this is like this guy, like this blew up my mind because like, you know, I said it before, I'm not a dancer, but this like it was like, okay, because this guy, he did a judge demo, bro, in Mexico, and he
I saw
wasn't
that.
dancing for 10 years.
It's
And
still
bro,
good, huh?
It blew my mind, bro. I said, bro. And then whole Instagram was like freaking out. And he told me, bro, I'm getting so much offers for judging, but he don't want to because he stopped dancing.
I saw he put a story that was like,
Yeah, he
I
stopped
judged
dancing. You know, he's like
Yeah.
a popping legend.
Right.
Stopped dancing like immediately when he judges the Boo like 10 years ago.
He said
And
he put up a story like, I've judged twice this year. I don't want to judge anymore. Please stop asking me.
Yeah, today.
Yeah, it was
Bro,
today,
I was
yeah.
talking to him. I
Yeah.
was talking to him because I
He said, "Thank you, it's been enough. I
He
don't want
said,
any
bro,
more."
I don't want, because I checked him like, and he said, bro, I don't go, and 2 times a year is okay for me, you know. He's like
Yo,
not caring
Anyone
that
that
much,
wants to book Djidawi, I'll take his bookings.
bro.
I need the money.
It's on me, bro. No, but
I think you should start dancing, bro.
Yeah, for
yeah,
real.
maybe. But bro, like this is like a really
Yeah,
interesting
maybe.
thing because that
It's
guy
true.
didn't won like a lot of events, but he had such impact.
But I would
The
even,
scene, like with his style, with his unique.
Some people
style,
are just ahead of their
you know
time,
what
though,
I mean?
you know? That's
Yeah.
why.
Like I think this is important to tell the people.
But-
It's not about winning, you know.
no. And know what, I've said this on maybe even last week's pod. Or the,
Really? Okay.
Like I say this quite a lot. But like, I don't know any organizer ever that has been considering who they want to judge or to be a guest. And maybe I'm wrong, maybe I'm missing people, but I don't know anyone who's sat down with their team and gone, right, should we invite blah 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 or blah blah blah, and then they're like, yeah, but how many have they won? They've only won 6 battles and they've won 10, so maybe we should invite.
But I'm
They've
sure
got
there
No, I
are
think,
how much are they blowing
but
up
I'm
on the
sure there are
socials?
No, I think
Do you
I
think?
think when it's been relevant, especially in my case, is like how many times have they won your event?
Sure, that's the only time.
Then I'll invite someone like, oh, because
That's another thing,
they've
yeah.
won my event maybe 2 or 3 times. Okay,
There
now
is
let me
time for
invite them as a
to-
judge. You know
but
what I mean?
not like if it's the choice. It's like in general, how many
No,
have they
exactly,
won? They
yeah.
go, how much noise are you making at the moment? How much are you blowing up? And maybe how much of a unique style? Because it's like, let's say in popping, you might have
Noise is the biggest factor. you know?
yeah, noise is the biggest factor. And then maybe like, okay, we've got like 3 boogaloo guests who are really like heavy boogaloo. Maybe we want someone who's a little bit different style wise, so we bring a bit, you know what I mean? And they're looking at filling out the style of the event. Or judging is like, all right, who does everyone kind of look up to or recognize as like an OG?
Or maybe workshops, like who would you love to learn from that we
Exactly.
can also judge, for
But
example, you
it's
know?
way more
It's
important
very-
than title.
No, it's
right?
very rare that someone goes, oh, they've won this. Maybe the odd occasion is like you said about Just Taboo. Oh, they just won Just Taboo. Maybe we should book
Isn't
them.
that the case in like Summer Dance Forever where the winner judges the next year, or
I
like
think it's maybe an unofficial thing
Unofficial
that they
thing,
tend
okay.
to hire
But
people
like
back.
when we talked about Djidawi, there was like a one battle between Djidawi and Pepito against Salah and Poppin J. Everybody's talking about that battle, quarterfinal, and not about
The finals.
okay, yeah.
So it has way more impact, you know.
But if
So-
you
so
think
it's
about it,
like-
I don't know
like
if you
it's
guys
so
feel,
interesting.
feel the same, but like almost every battle I'm at, it's like there's a battle that's not the finals that I remember more than the finals.
That's
Of
what
course,
I like
of
to.
course.
Bro, I don't know if it's
That's
the same
why
with
we
you.
seed the battle sometimes, you
Well,
know?
I don't know if it's the same with you, but I like to play like semifinals is for me the best. I don't like to play finals.
for
I
me,
don't know why, bro, but
no.
semifinals are more hyped.
No, I think for me it's the top 8.
Yeah.
Top 8 rounds.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's
I agree,
that's
I
my
agree,
hypest
I
rounds,
agree.
you know? Like top 16,
Yeah.
everyone
But the
get the
final
best
is like
rounds, warm up.
a little
Top
bit,
8 is
yeah.
when it's like, okay, now
The
it's really
finals
serious, you know?
only like the most hype one if they're really, really good, and you're like, oh, I've been waiting to see these two against each
Yeah,
other all day.
exactly.
But
If
you
it's just,
can
oh,
usually see that coming ahead of time. Like when you look at the
Oh,
brackets,
yeah.
like, oh, this is on this side, this person
Yeah.
that side. That's the final.
Yeah,
You know
and
what I
then
mean?
then when they get there, you're like, yes. But
Yeah.
that most
Exactly.
of the time with a
Most
more
of the
even
time,
battle,
Yeah.
Like there was like, I think last
like-
year or the year before with Summer Dance where it was like the top 16 was, or top 12 or however they do it, was fire. All of the 12. I'm like, I don't care who gets to the finals now because this top 12 is going to be more exciting than any of the finals because they're all amazing, you know?
That's why I love top 32 battles at high level events, because that's when you get to see matchups that would never happen otherwise or wouldn't have as much visibility. It's like, oh, this person's battling that person. I never thought that would ever happen. Let's go watch this, you know, or let's watch this battle, because you just wouldn't expect this battle to ever happen in like a final or a semi-final, whatever, but it's happening in a top 32, maybe a top 16.
Yeah.
Okay, like that's going to be interesting to watch. It's going to be fun to watch, you know?
You know, I have to shout out Nikhil from UDAT because he came on the pod, but he has an event where they do, I think, top 16 and then top 8, but from top 4 and finals. So
Where it is, the event?
it's
UK?
called Beyond the Moves.
It's here? In the
No,
UK?
in France.
Oh, okay.
And they do from top 4, like the semi-finals and the finals, it's, I think the semi-finals is 5 rounds and the finals is 8 rounds. No time limit. So they do 4 rounds and then they do a break and then they kind of switch. Like, so you go first for 4 rounds. We have a break and then come back and I go first for 4 rounds.
Interesting. Okay.
And the finals was like one of the guys from the Twins against this other dancer. I forget the guy's name. And I watched it. I turned it on because Nikhil was coming on the pod. So I wanted to like do some research about his event. But those 2 dancers, it's like, I know the other, I forgot his name, but I know him. I would have never watched if the battle was in like the top 16 or of an event, I would have skipped past it on YouTube and found. I don't really know their dance. I don't really have any strong reason to turn it on, right? So I turned it on, but it's because it's a 40-minute battle with like they're dancing 3 minutes around each thing. It was long, bro.
Dang.
But by the end of it, I was so invested because I was like, these are people that I never really see. Like I'm getting to see them push through, and I'm like, you start to see the relationship. Like, he does something, they're responding. It's like you really build up this thing of like. It's an actual performance, you know, and it's like by the end of it, I didn't give a shit who won. I was like, I'm enjoying this so much as an audience member. Like, I love seeing this matchup, and I think that's like I don't even know now. I don't even know who won that battle. I can't remember, but I remember the rounds, and that's like.
And there's certain events that have that. Like for me, that event or that sort of that feeling that you have is Vortex Jam in France. For me. And so last year they started including hip hop. It's been a predominantly breaking event before that. But their concept is cypher qualifiers, nothing new. But the judges pick the top 6 pairs. It's a 2-on-2.
Okay.
Once you're in the top 6, everyone battles everybody.
Oh,
I love that, bro. I love
that's a really cool
And
concept.
the judges pick their favorite after all the battles are finished. So you see so many different types of exchanges. Like you get to play however you want. You get to really connect with the dancers. And usually it's on average like 5 minutes a battle. But if the vibe is there, they'll let it carry on for a bit. You know what I mean?
I love that
And
shit.
like,
I love it.
and like that was my favorite event to play in 2022. You know, of all the events I've played, in terms of like connecting with the dancers, that was my favorite. And that was nice to have at the end of the year, after so many big stage competitions and blah 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 blah, to really get to a point where it's like intimate again with the dancers. Like it was good for my soul. You know.
I don't know how it is on the breaking side because I know there's been some up and downs about the round robin type of things in WDSF, but I think for me, like especially in top styles, one of the biggest downfalls is like these 1 round like quick battles. It's like I think we need more rounds per.
I don't like that one round battles.
No, like especially 1 round like
Especially
45
within the
seconds or
top
30.
16. Yeah, man.
It's like you, especially because it's like it doesn't really
give him
show
2 rounds. You know,
at least. It's
at
like
least like to show.
I would
you know?
prefer like 3, 4. I think we need to
it's
develop.
funny you say that because like last month when I was playing in Poland, I got to meet and hang out with Wiggles as well because he was working.
United session, right?
Exactly, United session in the Wrocław. I think I'm pronouncing that right. Don't quote me on that, you know. Definitely not, yeah. But we got to share a car ride back to the airport in Warsaw, and he was telling me like he would prefer if every battle was like minimum 5 rounds.
Wiggles said
8
this?
rounds. Yeah, Wiggles.
Yeah, it's OG.
Because he was like, okay, now you get to really see the character and like the strength, you know.
And it pushes you like
Exactly.
For me
you
as a
train
dancer,
like that, you know what I mean? You don't train for 1 or 2 or 3 round
well,
battles.
now they do.
Exactly.
But this is the thing. It's like I'm saying this, and I'm old as fuck, and my stamina sucks. But there's dancers now who are good, who I think in an 8 round battle I could beat them. In a 1 round battle they'd smoke me. But in an 8, because I can I can do 8 rounds that all look different in a row, and like they. I mean, I've done like 7 to smokes where I've won doing that, where I've like broken my rounds up and stuff. But most people train for 3 high pressure 30-second rounds, which is also a skill. But I just prefer the way of like, especially being artists. It's like, all right, can you do extended rounds and show me different things to different types of music, different, you know what I mean? Like, and have stamina
What are
and
you
build.
gonna do if you're tired?
And also the way the whole culture is built is like, we talk about the cipher and all the social aspects being important. It's like, when do you cipher once for 30 seconds and then never go again? When you have a cipher night, you're ciphering for hours and going and going and going. It's like, we completely don't replicate that in battles.
And it's even just thinking outside the box. So going back to Vortex Jam, you do a top 6 battle where everybody battles everybody, you still get 15 battles. When you have a top 16 category, knockout tournament style, which is typical, you have a total of 15 battles.
Because 8 for the first round.
So everybody's
4,
battling
2,
everybody,
and
right?
1.
Interesting.
Like everybody's battling everybody.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's 6
Yeah,
crews.
that's
so you have 5
Yeah.
battles per person, but there's 15 in total.
Gotcha.
When you have a top 16 as a
Interesting.
knockout, you still get 15 battles.
really-
So how many
Interesting.
people got through prelims in that one? 6.
6,
But
yeah.
it just means less people get through.
Less people get through, but maybe there's like a last chance cipher again at the end.
Yeah.
Like, okay, the judges couldn't decide between, 5 or 6 crews. Okay, we need 2 crews out of these or 1 crew out of these last bit.
I
You know what I
prefer
mean?
people just did 1 style per event. Don't do like, I mean, I'm saying this, I'm at an event where they're doing 3 styles tomorrow, but
Shout out MSB.
but like, I would rather, as a dancer, I would rather it's like, okay, it's just one style, it's just hip hop tomorrow, let's say, and we're still going to pick the top 16, but like in the World Cup or something, where it's like you're going to go in groups, everybody battles everybody, then it goes, and it's like a whole day of those 16 people battling to the top. I know some people don't like that because they get tired or whatever. I would prefer, I always wanted more rounds. I didn't care about getting to the finals to win. I was like, once I get to the finals, I've just got the maximum amount of rounds that you can see me for today. I just want to dance more.
I think when it comes to other styles that are non-breaking, not to say that it's easier to do,
Oh,
but
no,
I
I'll
think
say it's easier.
I think it's more feasible because
It's
of
way
the,
easier.
because of the connection you have with the music and the pacing. Breaking is so much about moves,
Or short round.
and it's just typical
If
to have
you-
shorter rounds.
Like if you're a popper and you can't do like multiple rounds, like getting from the top 16 to the finals as a popper should not be the only rounds that you have. Like if you've used up all your stuff or all your stamina in one, that's terrible. It's like, what'd you say? Like top 16, 8, 4, 2. That's 4 rounds. Let's say
4
you
battles,
get,
yeah.
even if you get 2 tiebreakers in that, that's 6 rounds. Like we do ciphers where it's like we're doing like 15 rounds, 20 rounds, and they're all different. Like, I get stressed with people that can't. It's like if you're like that where you can't do multiple rounds, it's like, I think for me it's like you're training wrong because you're not training yourself as an artist. You're training yourself
training
as like
for a competition,
Yeah.
and that's different. And there's nothing right or wrong in this conversation we're having anyway.
Sure.
I mean, it's all subjective, right? But yeah, we're training for competition these days because that's the era we're living in. If you train for cipher battles, that's a different type of training. You're training for 50 rounds, not 15. You know what I mean?
But
But in a competition, those 15 rounds you're banging out are fucking high class.
Yes.
15 rounds.
But also, and to take the, let's say, take the blame off the dancers, they're just going to train how the competitions are. And I get that. It's like,
and they're
if
going
the
to train to what the music is. today.
Yes, they're going to train to what they know they're going to get in battles and how they know they're going to be formatted in battles. So it's not on the dancers actually. And every time I ever complain about anything on this podcast, it always ends up with me blaming the event organizers. I think
You should change the name of this podcast.
to the whining podcast. Luke moans about shit.
Luke talk shit, you know?
Yeah, that's the unofficial name of the pod.
No, bro.
But it's like,
Yeah, but
I think
know
it's
what
the
you
event
mean, yeah.
organizers have the power to shape our entire
Yeah.
scene, and they're the least qualified fucking people. No, like
Yeah.
I'm not talking about the
Also,
event
like,
we're at,
come
but
up with different concepts. Like last week,
but they're not. They're never dancers. The DJs are always people that care about the culture and whatever. The judges have to be held to a high standard. We don't go to an event if the judge is some nobody. We go to an event if the event organizer has never
Which
put
I
on
have
an
a
event.
point to add after you
go
finish
on.
your point. By
No,
the way.
it's just like I just think we need to hold event organizers to a higher standard
Yeah.
because what they're doing, I would argue, shapes the scene more than almost any other role in the entire scene.
How many crews are there left today, by the way?
Crews,
Yeah.
very little probably,
How many crew battles happen?
very little,
Why?
but this
because
is-
event organizers stop putting them on
Because it's why?
because people stop showing up.
No, because it's expensive
Yes.
to have a crew battle, to have crew invites, to have
Right.
crew
It's more
level
people, yeah.
prize money. So there's
And it's
more
the
1-on-1s, 2-on-2s, 3-on-3s,
and
whatever
it's
else.
the
You know?
time, it's
That as
like-
well. So the
because,
biggest
like, we
factor
had
is
that
money, though.
conversation at Battle
Oh,
of
100%.
the Year.
You know?
There was like not many crews.
The biggest factor is money, as always,
And
right?
you know
so
what was Battle of the Year? It was the
used to be
hard
crew
was
battles.
battle, shows and then crew battles top 4.
Well, so what was it
doesn't
about the
happen
year?
anymore.
Was it 3-on-3?
It doesn't happen.
What was it? A
doesn't
crew battle?
happen anymore because there are no.
Yeah.
because it's another time.
So
bro.
when
It's
when
not
you
like the
say
90s
organizers
anymore.
have the power to shape, I agree with that point because that's one reason why we have fewer crew
Exactly, they have
battles.
to change. They have to adapt
and
to
that
the time.
kills the crews because
Yeah.
and even
Yeah.
with top styles,
Exactly.
it's like it used to when I first started. Just Taboo was huge and it was like the peak of Just Taboo, right? But then also.
Top Styles had big crews back in the
Well,
day,
we had
man.
big crews, but we also had partners. Every top styler had a partner because Just Taboo was the pinnacle of battling. So you had a person who was your guy or girl. Now people don't have partners. They dance by themselves. Maybe you have a crew who's like in the name
that.
it's the crew, but you don't have like if I said to any given popper or hip hop dancer, who's your partner? They'd be like, oh, I don't know. Let me see who's when I started you, and I'm not saying it's a bad thing now, but when I started, you had your partner that you knew if ever there was a 2-on-2, you had your partner. And because Just Taboo was so big, so
They
many
were
other
known,
events,
like for their partners.
everyone knew that people would train for Just Taboo.
Yeah,
so everyone knew everyone would have a partner. So there was way more 2-on-2s. Djidawi,
Nelson,
Pepito.
Frankie.
They
like,
always had their
yeah.
2-on-2s. Now, like exactly what you're saying. Like now, because there's less thing, people don't have that.
Exactly. Yeah, it's a
But
different
it's
time,
all
man.
because of the event organizers and who decided to run events or how they decided to run it. And again, it's like my little rant is that most of these event organizers are not dancers and don't know anything about events. If you're not a dancer, you have to be a fucking expert event organizer.
But
Pick
if
one,
I
you know?
like I agree with you when you say like these event organizers they have a certain amount of power because like last week like I'm going with the example again with Battle of the Year. The organizers are dancers, you know, like the main organizer is Malekith, you know, like the you know him, like a German b-boy, and like he is really innovation, you know, like he like had like a pre-selection system. Like on Saturday we had the pre-selection and 8 people passed, and on Sunday we had another pre-selection and you can attend again, you can participate again, and then there were another top 8 selected, and that top 16 went to the main stage. So I think this is like a good innovation, you know, like it's the power of the
So you could enter
organizer. So
twice.
the people who you can enter twice. So the
That's
people who
smart.
entered Saturday said, okay, I'm staying one more day. I'm
Try
trying to
again.
get in
And
on
maybe they
Sunday
seeded
again.
it so that the first ones were higher.
Yeah, exactly. So
Sick.
and it was, of course, they got a good sponsor, and everybody who passed the pre-selection got like $300. Bro,
There you
like,
go.
this is like okay. I passed the pre-selection, I get $300.
That's and by
you
the
know,
way,
like these kind of things.
that's how it
That's
should
why
be.
I agree with the
Yes.
power. They have that power, of course, if they have the money. But
and but when
I think
people are
like this is
putting
a really
into
good thing, you know.
like when people are putting in funding to run battle events, right? What you should be doing, in essence, I'm not saying it's wrong to only ever do it in the normal way, but it's like you're putting all this money for other things, like to pay this judge to fly from fucking outer space to come because
Give it
there's
to the dancers, yeah.
your top 8 are making your event. Anyone that passes the event, I don't care how good the fucking judge
So
demo
give them
is.
the money.
The top 8 dancers are the
Exactly.
ones that are performing for everyone. So when you
Exactly.
come, it's them that are making the show. Even if they do the first round, they're the majority of the show.
Exactly.
There should be more of an emphasis on paying them at minimum like a little contribution, like 100 quid or something to enter, right?
Just to
I think,
make it
just
I
to
think
get to
giving,
it, and then
giving
you
them
get a prize
entry
if
money
you
back
win.
at least.
I like
At the
that.
very
Least.
least, give them the entry money back.
Marso did that with
Now you
Create.
said that, that's what I'm going to do at my future events.
Bro, I
There
like
you go.
that
We love
because
that.
like it's
Because
kind
yeah,
of
you're
kind of
right. They
showing-
are the show. They
showing
are the I
respect.
agree.
Like you made
I
it
would-
to the top 8. Like
I would
this is
almost
your
rather,
money, you know.
let's say your prize money is like 800 quid or something. And this is my personal opinion. People might disagree. I would rather you say there's no prize money today, but everyone in the top 8 gets 100 quid rather than the winner getting 800 quid. You get some t-shirts, you get some merch. I would rather that because I'm like, listen, if you're gonna pay me this money and like, let's say I work my way all the way up to the finals, I give the winner, I give him hell, and it's like it goes to an extra round and a tie and stuff, and then I lose. I've made every round exciting and I get fuck all, you know, and it's kind of like,
No, I agree with the principle you're talking about.
yeah.
But from experience, I know so many breakers who want to enter a battle and win that prize money because
Sure.
they got bills to pay, they got rent
I
to
mean,
pay.
best
and
case scenario
and
is
I
you
understand
get
that point, you know.
prize money and entry.
That prize money.
Exactly,
I
and
know what
so
you mean, yeah.
so I don't know
100%.
if I would
I
ever
agree.
agree
I
with
agree.
like splitting one total
Sure.
pot equally amongst top
Yeah,
8.
okay. So you have
know what I mean?
to have like a good sponsor to give the
Yeah.
top 8 that money and additionally give the
a
prize money.
substantial prize for the
Yeah,
first
exactly,
place. You know what I mean? But I love the idea, and I think from here on out, if I do events, I will do the same thing.
I
Like
think that's the direction we
top
should
16,
go to.
whoever qualifies should get their entry
You
money
get
back.
that
At least
entry
entry
money,
money back. That's great idea.
Boom bap
Or
and
like
breaks.
100
You're gonna see it
bucks,
there.
you know? I think it's a good thing, man.
Yeah.
We came
And
up
just
with
to add to your
innovation.
point earlier,
Yeah.
when it came to like organizers having power, and you know, if you have bad judges, no one will want to enter. For example, I personally think the focus should be on bad DJs. So
Bad
if
DJs?
on bad DJs, so you have bad judges, you might get a bad decision, and that might ruin. Ooh.
We'll put it in.
Or
So-
clapping.
Bad judges might ruin
It's a good
your
point,
own
bro.
day,
It's a good point.
but bad judges aren't gonna ruin the event. You can have a great DJ and bad judges and still have a good event. You can have
That's true. That's true.
really amazing judges but a really bad DJ, and that will fuck up everyone's day.
And so to add to that, also,
You know what I mean?
this is what I think people don't get wrong. People don't get right with events. Is like the judge is going to fuck up 16 dancers' day. Even if even people that don't go through prelims, let's say it's like 30 people, 50 people's day, you're going to fuck up their day. Your event capacity is 300, 400. The rest are all fucking spectators. So if the DJ is fucking up everybody's vibe in the whole room, that's way more. And I think we do this wrong, that we cater from the top down in terms of event organizers, right? We cater to the winners first. What did they get? The top level dancers who, you know, the fucking whoever, Paradox, or these people that we're like, all right, well, if Paradox comes to
Shout
our
out
event,
Paradox, by the way.
he's gonna win.
Paradox.
How are we going to give him the best thing,
Kevin.
the best prize? And then moving down, people get less and less. So the top 16 get fuck all. The people who enter the prelims, and this is one criticism I have of summer dance, where it's like two people dancing at the same time. It's like those, I've said this before, but those people that enter those prelims, who majority of whom are not going to get in, they're the ones contributing the most money to your event. That top 12 is
That's
this
true.
much money
That's true.
compared to the prelim people, compared to the spectators. And so that's the way you should cater your event, is first to the spectators, because they're the majority. I don't want to be sitting cross-legged on the floor for 8 hours, like while the while the host shouts at me, "Why aren't you guys making noise?" Because I'm fucking tired, right?
My legs hurt.
Then after that, cater to the prelim and to make sure the people that have flown from other countries to do 30 seconds at your event feel like they're getting their money's worth, because that's a big thing, and
That's
they're
yeah.
giving you the most money. Then after that, the top 12 or the top 6 or the top 8 or however many, because they're the tiniest part of your event, and yes, they deserve a lot, like, because they're probably the highest level and they're the most,
So,
but they're the last out of the three. I would start catering
That's
to that.
why I like what you said about Battle of the Year last weekend, which is like you got a second chance to do prelims
Yeah.
again, you know? And the only times I
That's
ever see
sick.
this
That's a
happen,
really good
I
idea.
really like that
Yeah.
concept.
really
That's
good
really
concept,
smart.
you know? Because the only times I see that happen is usually either you have a cipher qualifier where you get more than one chance to share the cipher and present yourself, or the last time I actually really saw a new concept was in Germany, in Dresden, Glory to Power move battles, where I was as well, where you had your top 16 bracket with some invites mixed in as well. So you had two brackets running simultaneously. So if you lost in the top bracket, you move down. If you win here, you go back up. But if you lost twice in a row, then you're out the competition. So you get a second
Innovation.
chance.
Innovation, bro.
You know what I mean?
like it.
So you
I
get a
like
it.
second chance to go back up,
We need that.
and then if you lose in your bracket on the top side, you get another second chance to go back up. But if you lose again, you're out the competition.
I like that.
Interesting.
And eventually you get to the final. So you could win, lose, and still make your way to the final.
like that.
And I just like, it took some time to get my head around it. Like even for the audience,
Yeah,
it's like
the concepts are-
like yeah, but like
Yeah,
how,
but it's innovation, bro.
it
We
is,
need
and
We
like
need
that really
man.
worked, you know. So
it's
shout out
different
Fun
time.
from, you know, like
We
he
need
worked
that.
on
The
that
other
concept,
thing
you know.
that helps is like, as an audience member, you start to get your like favorites of the day, right? And those favorites might not be the ones that are going to win, but they're the ones that you like to see dance.
Yeah.
So it's like, okay,
We all had our favorites from that event as well, and our favorite one.
oh, there you go.
You know,
But it's-
after winning, losing, fighting their way to the final,
Right.
And you know, now they won, and it's like, okay, that made history.
But
you know?
most audience are not there to only see someone win. They're there to see someone dance. So if somebody goes in the top 16 and I'm like, or even like people that I already know, like if I'm looking at like Alex Cage or these people that I'm like, I love watching them. If they get knocked out first battle, they do 30-second rounds, get knocked out, I've kind of checked out. I'm like, well, my favorite guy is not in it anymore.
Yeah,
but if I know that, like, you know, when I watch the round robins in WDSF,
Yeah.
I kind of like it as a spectator because I'm like, even if it's just like my friend, I'm like, oh, fucking Vanessa's in it, or like it's someone that I really like their dance, but I don't know them. I get to see them multiple times.
Shout out to Vanessa, Adidas athlete
In it,
now.
big shout out. But yeah, it's like I, as an audience member, I just want to see them dance more, and it's like I want to be able to be like, oh, she lost that one, but if she wins the next one, that means she can make up the point. And it's like I kind of get into the story of it. It's like rounds in boxing or something, you know. It's not like, oh, you get punched once, you're out of the competition. That's kind of what it's like here.
And that's the sport aspect of it as well. Like in sport, there's always second chances, whereas in in our street dance battles, it's always knockout, you know?
Yeah, which I think is a bit of a...
Even in sport, like in football, you have group stages and you play against everybody, which is what a round robin is essentially, you know what I mean?
Third chances.
And
like
then you make it out and then it's knockout.
I like that
Understandable.
innovation, man. I like that if they come up with new ideas and with new concepts, I really like it.
Especially,
I think we need,
especially if it's like focused on making the experience better for like the dancers or the audience or whoever, you know. It's like rather than just like, here's a cool new thing because it means, I don't know, like just random. But it's like, if it's like, all right, we've got an innovation that's focused on how can this be more fun or less tiring or more exciting or whatever. I think that's
at the
way
same
better.
time also, like for the caliber of the event it's like, okay, how can you make it worthwhile, the caliber?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like a local jam can have the same format as a super high level jam, but now we're talking Olympics and breaking. You know what I mean? Like, okay, so it can't just be exactly the same format. Okay, round robin comes in because now that's high level sport format applied to a dancing. You know what I mean? Yeah.
I like that round robin concept, man.
I love it too, but only from the top 16. Top 32, top 64 round robin. Oh my god.
Yeah.
That'd be too much. You know what I mean? But yeah, top 16 round robin.
I would just love to see like longer. I mean, this is me too. I know a lot of people disagree with this, but I would love to see longer competitions. Like, I would love there to be like, what would be after 64? What's the next?
128.
Is it? Yeah. So
Well,
like,
I was like
top
Story,
120,
when I
but
was
over
in-
like 3 days or something. And it's like, you could be in that, you battle, you move up,
I was
you move
like
up.
in KOD, China.
Yeah.
in
Bro,
2000.
fuck DJing for that.
Bro, I have a story, man. 2018.
China's different, bro.
Bro,
China is different, bro.
KOD finals in China, bro. 2018. Like we had that popping pre-selection, 1 day only for pre-selection, top 128, and pre-selection registered like 1,200.
But this is,
That's
I don't
China
like.
for you.
But I think
and
there
we
should be a
got, like,
cap on
we got
prelims.
10 ciphers with 10 judges. And like I played one song for 100 dancers, you know, like crazy, bro. And it was 1 day, you know. So and they pre-selection top to 128, and then they do the battles 128, 64, 32, top 60. Bro, it was like crazy, man. But of course they got like 1 billion people there.
Because for me, I'm like, I don't want to, you know, even with smaller numbers, let's say there's 150 people that enter battle, right? Which happens all the time.
smaller, yeah.
And yeah, 150 people enter. I'm one of them. I mean, when I've done it where I've got through to the top 8, and it feels great because you're like, oh, I'm top 8 out of 150. But that's a large population of the people that didn't get through. It's like there's 150 people that wanted to enter your event, and you've
142
chosen
didn't get through,
8.
ridiculous.
Yeah, it's like at least do like a 32. You know what I mean? It's like, you know, I spoke about this before as well. But like when I studied events at uni, we did a sports event module, and part of what they said was like the more people that you can make feel like participated in your event, not just showed up, but like were a part of your event, the more people you can include, the more people will come back. So
That's why UDO is
Works.
super successful.
yes,
Because of the model. It's
100%.
exactly that.
but we need like a less of, because it's for kids mostly, UDO. So
But
when they
everyone
get a
feels
trophy for-
included. Do you know what I mean?
And everyone
Whereas in
gets
our
like-
scene, it's not the same.
there's
you
one
know?
person. There's no category. Like they have
One winner that everyone remembers.
Under 18, under 16, under 12, under 10, and then in that they have a top 10 who all get a trophy. You know, we get one person who gets money, everyone else gets told to fuck off. Like I would.
And you might get
prefer
money
that.
as a second place prize, but it's not.
It's
It's,
very
not.
rare.
It's alright, you know.
Yeah.
But now we're getting to the point where it's like, okay, slowly, like maybe the top 8, maybe the top 4, the finalists.
The only way you
know?
can get more out of an event is entering multiple styles. When I enter hip-hop and popping,
Shout
I
out to
feel-
the breakers that enter all styles battles at an event with breaking battles.
But
you
what was
know?
the event?
I love it.
The rotation dance one, which I didn't love, but it was very bad. But I entered.
You know what I mean?
It was very bad. But no, I entered hip hop, popping, all styles and the crew battles. And
Well, 4 categories. You
four
entered.
Trying to make that money.
Shout out to your cardio,
But I
man.
really,
Yeah,
I really felt like I got my money's worth out of the event because I danced loads to loads of different music, and I think it's a shame that I have to do it because I'd prefer in hip hop. Let's say if it was like I could just enter hip hop, but it's like UDO where you have like intermediate, advanced, different age groups. So like I can enter the over 30s advanced or the you know what I mean, like all these different events, and it's like you can just do your style and get more out of it because a lot of people just do one style, you know.
Yeah, man.
If you had to pick one style for life, what would it be?
Okay, I have to ask a determining question though. Is it based on how the scene is now or how things could be?
I don't care.
Because
Hip hop or popping? Which one?
Just what is your heart saying, man?
at one time it was popping, no question.
I
Now,
would say it's popping. Yeah, if you ask me, like,
yeah, I think it's
would
probably
say
popping. It's probably popping.
But
I mean,
it's
for Luke or for you?
well, for him.
For him,
he's
yeah,
a
okay.
popper, man.
Yeah.
Come on, man. I know he's hot.
I think it's popping, but the only difference is that in my normal life, day to day in the car, I never really listened to funk.
Listen to funk.
I never grew up listening to it. It's not
Same
part
to
of my
me, bro.
history.
Same to me.
I grew up living it. The reason I'm a
hip-hop,
dancer is because I fucking fell in love with rap and hip hop, right?
Yeah.
So if hip hop, the style, the music was all current stuff that I listened to, and it evolved in the way that like the actual if it was more, let's say, parallel with the music scene, the way that I don't know if other styles are, but the way I think it should be, then I would choose hip hop because I'm so in love with the music that overrides me being in love with like hits and
But
waves.
you'd be
and
happy
stuff.
pop into hip hop music for the rest of your life, yeah?
Oh. If
bro,
I could only do pop in to current hip hop music for the rest of my life, that's all I
Yo,
do.
so
But
you're
if you
popper.
share like
Yeah,
videos
popper.
of you when you're dancing popping and hip hop, yeah, sometimes you do in your
Yeah.
kitchen.
Yeah,
you know?
yeah.
So I can feel if you dancing popping is like
It's more
your
from
heart
yeah,
is
yeah, yeah.
beating, bro. I can feel that, bro.
For sure. It's true.
So I know
Well,
it's
if Fame
popping.
says it, it's true, you know?
Yeah.
I'd say it's popping for
knows
you,
me.
bro.
Yeah.
So, bro, like one question for you. Like I'm
Go
like
ahead.
the host now.
Yeah, I love it.
No, bro, just random question. Bro. Like your best event you played.
Ooh.
Just for me to know, like personally,
The
man.
event that he enjoyed the most, or when he did
Enjoyed,
the best?
enjoyed. This
Okay.
is a good one. Enjoyed, like not the
By,
best, like
by
enjoy-
year or by life?
like by life, bro. Like you enjoyed. It doesn't matter, like big or small. Just
I
enjoy,
honestly
bro.
don't know, bro, because
Really?
like
Yeah,
I mean,
you did a lot, I know, man.
correct me if I'm wrong, but after a while, there's so many memories that blur, right? So I only remember moments by year, by months, or whatever. So, for example, last year, my favorite was Vortex Jam in Rennes,
You told me
in
about
Paris,
that,
or
yeah.
in Saint Dominique,
But
whatever
that
the
one
town
that
is called. You know?
stuck, like in your mind, like you have that the most memories, you know.
I don't know, bro. I really don't know. Like, I know one event that really made me who I am today was Fresh Factory in 2012 or 13.
It's a good one.
You
It's a
know,
good one.
and that's a UK event. But like that event like really helped me. That affirmed
Became
who I am
who
as a
you are,
DJ.
yeah.
Like, yeah, I've been DJing for 2 years before that, maybe 3
Yeah.
years. But like after that event, I played by myself with the level it was
So-
for a UK. Like,
It's
okay.
a perfect answer, bro.
Like that was
It's a perfect-
the event that like okay now
what
I'm
I want to
solidified.
hear.
You know.
It was
What about
UK,
you?
But it
that
was,
event?
it was
the-
UK event. But I wouldn't say that it was my favorite event. I would say that that's one of the events that made
That's
me.
what I want.
Yeah,
to
but
hear,
that's
bro.
why
know?
it's your favorite
That's what
because
I
of
want
what it
to-
is.
It's one of my favorites.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah.
But I couldn't
But
say
that-
it's the favorite.
But
You
it's
know.
a one with probably with the most
Meaning.
strong memories and
meaning as well.
in
Meaning
your,
as
in your
well.
mind.
Like Vortex Jam
Yeah,
last year,
exactly.
like Red Bull Pakistan Cypher last year for me as well. Like the event itself might not have been the highest level in the world, whatever, but for me it had the most meaning because it's my culture, my heritage. It was the first ever Red Bull Cypher in Pakistan, and they invited
That's
me
a
to play.
big one, bro.
It's way
That's sick.
more
Do
like
you know what I mean?
Yeah, fuck
meaning-
them bets
meaning-
vibe.
Yeah,
That's
no, like,
way better.
even if there was like only one person in the
Bro,
audience,
and
I'm sure it would.
we are
mean
so spoiled
world
in
to you.
Europe, bro. Like you,
Yeah.
when's the last time you experienced a scene where every dancer is hungry and passionate?
Yeah.
Like you don't see that anymore.
Bro,
It reminded me when I was a
Bro,
kid, you know.
I experienced this in Mexico because if you would ask me like the same question, I would say like.
Let me
this
ask you the same question,
Okay,
Fame.
I
What's
would
your
say,
favorite
like,
event?
This year,
Yeah.
Mexico, like Cube Complex, they called the battle. I was there with Djidawi. Bro, it was like people were like hungry, and I experienced this like maybe like I don't know, I don't remember because like people were, you know, in Mexico they were like really listening to the old funk music in popping, you know, that like operator. This is
I love that song, though.
Bro, I love that song, man. But they're like a little bit like stuck to that music. And so I came up there with my, my sound, like R&B, new, fresh sound. And like I could see it in their eyes, like, oh, and it was like a really good feeling. And it was that connection was immediately there. So, and I also did like a panel there. I don't do this, but it was like a speaking panel. They want to tell them my experience as a DJ, and it was like listening to me. And so it was like really, really good experience, man.
Yeah, man.
So I think this is quite important for
It
us
humbles
DJs
you as
to
well.
have those. Yeah, exactly.
It humbles you after
have those
so many
kind
years
of
in the
events.
game. Nothing is for granted. So when you have these experiences,
Exactly,
it reminds you
bro.
of like why you really love the culture as well.
That's what I wanted to say with this.
What
with
about
this
you,
question,
man?
bro? What about you, man?
Event I've
Like
DJed?
as a dancer.
Oh, favorite event I've done?
Yeah.
As a dancer,
Like-
whatever,
With the most like impact for you as a dancer.
Or most impact for me?
Like which you remember, like, oh, that one was
Throwdown's
crazy.
gotta be up
Yeah.
there. The one that I won.
Throwdown. Yeah.
Throwdown's.
You told me before the
I told you.
throwdown. Okay.
Yeah, but I think like I'll tell you the story properly. But like, I think for me the thing with Throwdown was like, okay, so it had this like legendary status in the UK scene when I came of like, especially because it was a b-boy event. So that was like the core of our scene. Throwdown was like the event that like all the b-boys loved. So then when it started having hip hop battles, and whatever, we were like, we loved it. And I had never won a battle before. Oh no, that's a lie. I never won a solo battle. We won Funkin' Styles UK maybe 2-3 months before as a crew. And then we went to Germany to do the main thing with our crew. And I don't feel like we lost first round to like Team Japan. So it's like, all right, you can't really complain about that.
Shout out Japan.
Yeah, they killed us. But
Kaito.
I can't remember who was
Yeah.
in it, but I felt like a bit like shit about my rounds. Like I don't think I really like did good, And I was with some good people as well. Like Marvel was in the, it was like me,
Oh,
Marvel. There's a couple of other b-boys who I don't know if you
Yeah.
you would know, like Simon and Benji, Midair and Benji, and then Mus as well. So it was like there was people that I respected, and my rounds weren't great. So then I was like, okay, came back, went to Throwdown, and it was. I spoke about this as well. I can't remember which pod, but basically, Henry Link came to Throwdown that day, and it was a hip hop battle.
Ooh.
And he didn't judge; he just sat in the front row and watched. right?
Oh, okay.
Oh, just
And
there chilling.
Just there
Just
chilling.
watching?
I think
Okay.
maybe so they asked him to judge, and they couldn't
Pressure.
afford because it's Throwdown was like not very well funded or whatever, so they just. They couldn't maybe afford to hire him. So he was just there chilling. So I'm watching the prelims, and everybody that's entering the fucking prelims is changing how they're dancing. And somebody
I
else,
heard you talk about this. Yeah.
somebody else told me this story, and they remember seeing the same thing. So I was like, okay, it's not just me. And everybody's doing like social dances, and because Henry Link's sitting in the
Link is
fucking front
watching,
row.
okay.
And at this time, we didn't have loads of people traveling, so having someone from out of the country was a big deal. Let alone
like a big deal,
fucking
okay.
pioneer. So I'm watching all the prelims, and I'm seeing it. I'm like, everybody's changing how they dance because they want to impress him, and I'm like, right. I've never.
He's not judging.
He's not judging.
But he's
So
just
I'm
there
like,
chilling.
I've
Okay.
always wanted. I've never wanted to like conform or whatever. I don't really give a fuck. And do I really care about what he thinks or whatever? And I'm like, all right, I might lose today. I might not even get through prelims, but I'm not changing how I dance. I'm just gonna do my shit. If they don't vote me through, fine. But I'd rather. And I made this conscious decision. Like, I'd rather not change my dance.
It's a good one.
Got through prelims, and then I battled. Like I had obviously like 3 battles, and the finals was against Kashmir. And Kashmir
Shout
was
out Kashmir,
my
my boy.
big shout out to Kashmir. And like this is not to say like I wanted to beat him because I don't like him or something. Like
Wait, you beat Kashmir.
Well,
in the
now,
final?
let me get it. This is so, and I don't even care whether, like I don't know if he
what you
thinks,
mean.
but he could be like, oh, I shouldn't have lost or whatever. It might even be true, but Kashmir is like, I mean, he taught me so much about hip hop, and like he's really like helped me a lot, and I can't shout out Kashmir enough as he's one of the best hip hop teachers I've ever learned from. So I definitely think people should learn from him if they ever want to learn hip hop. Like just even the way he breaks
Me and
down the
Kashmir are
style.
the same crew. You know that.
I do. But yeah, anyway, so he's someone that I was like, we're kind of similar. I think I was even in the scene a little, like maybe like a year before him, but he came in and was just like the top dog immediately. So I was like, all right.
Top boy.
And he was like the foundations guy. He like all the he understood the style so deeply. And I was
Yeah.
not the foundations guy. I was the
With
creativity
the
guy.
experimental guy.
Yeah, I was like, I'm going to be creative. And I was looking up to people in France and stuff who were just not doing the style properly, but doing their own shit.
New
That was
gun. Yeah.
what I always wanted to be. So I'm battling Kashmir. while Henry Link is sitting in the front row and the judges are opposite him looking at Henry Link judge their judging, you know? So I'm like,
Judge.
yeah, and I'm like, all right, I'm just gonna fucking dance my best to the music that is played. I don't care about battling the person. I'm just gonna dance to the song.
Just do you.
I just want to do me. I'm in the finals now. That's the furthest I can get, you know? So I'm just doing my thing. Anyway, did it. They voted for me and I won. 2 out of 3 judges voted for me. And I was like nearly crying, bro. I was like, this meant so fucking much to me to win and to like, especially because it's against Kashmir, because it was like, fuck, that's like a
At one point, Cash was
me. Yeah.
You
That's
mean
like a bar to
undefeated,
me.
you know?
Especially
Yeah.
back then, like I remember.
And again with the Henry Link thing. Anyway, so I was gassed, like so gassed. And what's hilarious, and I've told this story before, is that Link made a status that was about me.
Yeah.
That on Facebook. And I was like, never fucking forget that, because if I didn't have such good friends or something, that would have fucking broken me. And it makes me think now to be very careful about how I speak about younger dancers, even if I don't like them. Because it's like, you don't know how impressionable people are. So he wrote a status and he was like, how can the judges in a hip hop battle demonstrate in their showcases that they understand hip hop, and then it was either like vote for someone that doesn't do hip hop, or like make the person that does hip hop, they make him lose or something like that. So basically they were saying,
so against you.
he was saying Kashmir should have won and I should have lost because I wasn't doing real hip hop and Kashmir was. Fine if that's your opinion, but that fucking stuck at me, and it really hurt me because I was like so up from having won my first battle, and then to see someone that is like a pioneer. Or,
But those are defining moments, bro, of your character. Like,
yeah, and
you know,
like
how you act upon that sort of situation,
Yes.
it's going to define who you are as a person.
And
you know?
this is why I say it immediately as my first one that meant the most, because I was like, all of that, like me making that decision and sticking to my creativity and knowing that's something I always want to do, like beating people who are like I look up to and whatever, and having people there, and then that thing with Link, and then it being like, I've never spoken to, I don't even really know him, but like having that happen and me going, fuck it, I'm still gonna stick to what I want to do and be the dancer I want to be. You know, it's like it really like changed, like you said about the one that you were talking about, like it changed. Like I came out of that experience being like, I now know the path I want to take as a creative, not even as just a dancer. It was that one event. So like that one was like a really big one for me, I think. And that was a way longer story than maybe you asked
No,
for.
bro,
No,
it's
that's
good, bro, man. You have to tell your story as well, man.
Amazing. I think that's a great point
it's
to finish
amazing.
on, actually.
Yeah.
Yeah, man.
You guys got to go to the thing, right?
We got to go party. Oh, not party. We're going to
gotta
go
go.
check out some rap showcases. actually.
man.
But yeah, thank you guys for tuning in. Appreciate you. Hope you enjoyed this. This episode was sponsored by Pims. No, it wasn't really. Disclaimer at the beginning.
Sponsored by
Sponsored by
Costa
Flips,
Coffee.
Costa, sponsored by sunglasses, sponsored by my shoes.
Yeah, man. Thank you for having us,
Oh,
man.
bro. Thanks to Tyler
Really?
for having us all.
Can we have a German sign-off? Because
Yeah,
we
please
open
do.
with German.
Continue.
So, Faze,
In
please.
Germany? Okay.
Ja.
Okay, das war der Podcast von The Duke, The Capsule, und ich hoffe, ihr habt alle genossen. Ich denke, es war eine sehr coole Diskussion
Ich habe
und eine sehr
einen Bruder.
coole Unterhaltung. Was
Schwester.
sagst du dazu, mein Freund Adil?
Wie bitte?
Was sagst du dazu? War das gut heute?
Das
für
war
dich?
sehr gut. And just for you know, we're going to put the subtitles on. Put random subtitles on, by the way.
The way they just like making
know
me
what I
do more editing.
Just
I'm
random.
not putting any fucking
You know what I mean?
subtitles.
Like-
Talk in German, bro. Come on.
In
Show
Deutsch?
them.
But
YouTube has auto
Yes,
subtitles.
crazy pronunciation, man. In German.
Pronunciation.
Jawohl.
Come on.
He's good.
Jetzt sag mal, yeah, er ist richtig
Does
gut.
he sound like he's like from a certain place in
Bro,
Germany?
er ist richtig gut.
Mönchengladbach.
Mönchengladbach. Say goodbye in German, man. Come on.
Auf Wiedersehen. Hab ein gutes Wochenende. Shout out Luke und Fayme.
Shout is definitely not German.
No, how do you say shout out in German?
Shout out.
Shout out in German.
Liebe Grüße.
Liebe Grüße. That's too formal, bro. Come
Oh,
on.
it's German, bro. It's
Salutations.
we always formal, bro.
Peace, guys.